every night and day.
No, which song do you like better? We don't talk anymore, or that song?
We don't talk anymore. We can make that. I think they're in the same key, man. I think we can make that like a compilation.
Let's do it. I'm down.
I mean, I've never thought of the two together before, but I mean, like, I believe I can fly. We don't talk anymore. They are definitely like, they can work together.
Yeah, I think you're onto something here.
Mm-hmm. This is what happens when songs just randomly get stuck in your head, and you don't know the lyrics to all of them, so they just slide into other songs.
That's amazing. That's how it's supposed to work, I think.
Maybe that's how music is created.
Oh my god! All right, I'm gonna run and get my coffee now.
How is music created?
By meshing them all together.
By songs getting stuck in your head, multiple at the same time, and then them just sliding into one new amalgamation of music.
Oh yeah. Speaking of amalgamations, we watched this Lifetime movie yesterday, and I swear the guy was literally a mix of Rob Lowe and Conan O'Brien.
Wow.
Like
personality or looks wise?
Looks.
I can't even imagine what you just like. There's no way that I can stick those two faces together in my head.
Maybe they shouldn't have been.
Rob Lowe from 1994 or Rob Lowe from 2022?
Whenever he was in Parks and Rec, probably like early 2000s.
So like 2011 Rob Lowe.
Yeah.
Chris Traeger, Rob Lowe.
Yes, exactly. Rosie, what was that Lifetime movie? The first one we watched. Deceitful Dating. Their movie names are just gold.
I think about it every night and day.
Okay,
where's Ryan?
Oh,
we're alive.
Gosh. Okay, Alan, I need you to show this guy to people.
Show what guy?
Okay. Well, apparently our podcast needs to start with Rob O'Brien.
Rob O'Brien.
Yesterday we watched this this Lifetime movie, and I swear the guy is an exact like perfect amalgamation of Conan O'Brien and Rob Lowe.
Oh, interesting.
What the heck? Why is it so hard to find him? Oh, here we go. This is the perfect picture.
You had me hyped. I'm not gonna lie.
What happened to Ryan? He just like disappeared.
He does. He hates both Conan O'Brien and Rob Lowe, so he was just like,
he was like, "Fuck this! I do not want to be part of this." All right.
Here you go.
Oh, holy shit! That does look like. All right, let me show the people watching on YouTube what this looks like. So right now we got who is it? Rob Lowe and what? Conan O'Brien.
Conan O'Brien.
This is their son, guys. This is Rob Lowe and Conan O'Brien's son. There you go. Yeah, right. Cynical squirrels out the gate, man.
Bro, I'm sorry, but I don't see it at all. Like, okay. I don't see
I
either Conan O'Brien nor Rob Lowe.
Hold on. It's the facial expression I see for Conan O'Brien, and then but like his lighter hair color, like mixed with Rob Lowe. I could see it.
He looks like a Swedish soccer player.
Matt Soul says looks like a poor man's Jamie Lannister.
Jamie Lannister.
I agree. Is he a country artist? He should be if he's not.
Right? Yes, absolutely. He does look like a country artist.
Guys, welcome to the Japanese. Oh my god, dude. When am I ever gonna get this right?
Man, it's crazy.
Dude, I don't know. Welcome to the Guys and Guys.
Should we just change her name so that you could like say it?
Yeah, I know.
Welcome to the podcast.
Welcome to the Guys and Guys podcast, where we talk about Japanese music news. Ryan is just arriving, and he is now here. Say hello for everyone, Ryan.
Fashionably late.
He just brought like a pitcher of coffee right now. I don't know. He can't hear anything we're saying. So, hey, Ryan. But
I agree.
Welcome.
Alan. He is a very beautiful man.
Oh, he's still gone. His camera's permanently frozen. Like I can make him disappear now.
You said I had 5 minutes. Would we have 2?
It was already 5 minutes.
Actually, no, it's been 6 minutes.
It's been 6 minutes. I don't know what time you're on.
Your camera's frozen,
He's
but
still
not in Zoom.
but
What
not
the
a,
hell's going on?
Oh, there he is.
It's
whenever
so
I,
crazy that you
whenever
just
I
don't
s-
exist on the screen.
it
That must
doesn't
be the
exist.
scene is frozen.
Oh, this is
Oh.
this scene is frozen. This is awesome. So
Huh.
this is Ryan. Say hello. Say hello, everyone. This is Ryan.
It's like as soon as I got back from peeing, the whole thing froze.
Here, we're gonna replace Ryan with this guy. Here we go. There we go.
Wow.
There you
Just his
go.
hairline. Huh?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. That is.
How can you not see Rob Lowe and
Every
Conan
time
O'Brien?
Ryan talks, this is what we'll see.
It's like Rob Lowe's eyes with Conan O'Brien's nose right there, dude.
So this is Ryan.
We can only see like half of his nose. Wait.
All right, we're
That's all
gonna
you need.
bring Ryan back here. Oh, I'll
Just
do
the
that
shaft.
afterwards. Just a shaft. What are we talking about today? Welcome,
No
everyone.
idea.
Just
No
shoot-
idea what you guys.
I feel like we should start
So
over
we
again.
started. Is that what's going on?
Yeah, this is how we
Started.
start these days.
Hi. Good morning.
How's everyone doing?
Are you talking to us or the chat?
I'm talking to you guys. How's everyone doing?
I'm doing good.
And how's the chat doing, of course? Hope,
Hmm.
hope everyone here on the live YouTube is
Oh my
doing well.
Yes. Hello, chatters.
Anyways, how
Well,
was your
I'm doing
week?
swell. How are you doing, Alan? You look real clean cut today. You're
I'm
looking
doing-
fresh. So fresh and so clean.
I'm doing great. I took a shower this morning, you know? I don't normally do that
Hmm.
before podcasts. So, you know, there's that.
Smooth.
So this is what happens when I'm clean.
Oh. I've done that when we were out on the tour. What
I
about
know.
that?
I want to touch your face.
That was just I don't know.
Seize the day. Yes,
Somebody
we're
clip out that comment, please. We could use that for all kinds of stuff.
Alan,
Just
I wanna
Wave
touch your
screaming, "I
face.
want to touch your face."
Look in the camera when you say it, Wave.
look me in the
And don't
eyes.
smile. Don't a serious face. Stare directly into the camera.
I want to touch your
Oh,
face.
Oh, now clip Ryan doing that.
Alan can do it. I mean, Ryan. Oh, what's happening?
hold on. Wave. I want to touch your face.
That just felt wrong.
Weird. Little weird.
All right, now that we're done touching everyone's face, how was your week, Ryan?
My week was good. I did stuff. I just had a thought what I was going to talk about.
That's nice.
Yeah.
It's
I was
always
like,
wonderful.
I did stuff this week. It's going really well.
You set up
What
your
am I gonna
camera.
do? Set my camera up. My brother's home, and for a few days, so he came over and helped me sort out this camera situation, which is really super helpful. I'm going to be playing some music today at the local place in town.
Nice.
And there's a bass player by the name of Nathan Waddell. He's a local guy, and he's like one of the few bass players I've met in person that I would literally compare with Misa. He's a fantastic bass player, and he called me up. He's like, "Hey, we need some people to play Sunday." I thought it'd be a cool opportunity to jam with you. I'm like, "Hell yeah, dude!" So we're gonna do my song called "Jump Before the Fall," and then we're gonna play Red House too.
Nice.
Cool. That sounds fun.
Acoustic, and he said he's gonna bring his 8-string bass, and not like
Eight?
the 4-string with the doubled strings.
Oh, nice.
Oh,
12-string
okay.
guitar, but yeah, so it's gonna be pretty crazy.
Dude, that sounds like it's got some thick sound.
Yeah,
Is it like
So-
octaves between the
yeah, like a 12-string guitar.
nice?
So it'll have your octave per string.
That's
So it should be
awesome.
pretty fun.
Are you gonna film any of it?
Yeah, I'm gonna take some. My brother's still here, so I'm gonna make him video the whole thing.
Are you gonna bring your Canon? Now that you know how to use it?
Yeah, I have to fucking change all the settings again.
Yeah.
That's
I
like
would- I'm gonna advise to
when I
leave
do
it
weddings, I
there.
have to change the settings like every time we move to a different room, you know. But you get used to it. It gets easy.
Yeah, once you practice, right? If you practice switching back and forth with settings, then you definitely will remember.
Just make Elliot do it with his freaking iPhone. It'll be.
The
This
iPhone
is
looks
why we
great.
have children, right? Like,
Yeah.
for that purpose, exactly.
Use your phone, kid. So yeah, there'll be some kind of video.
Cool.
Sweet.
Can't wait.
How about you, Champ? How was your week, man?
My week was pretty swell, man. A lot of it was just
Swell.
surrounding me working and shit like that. But I got to listen to a lot of cool new music that I hadn't heard before. So that's always fun. I like when I have one of those weeks where I actually like, get to listen to music instead of just doing like the daily grind. Get to actually hear the new stuff and talk about it. So always wonderful. I finally heard Bandmaid's Cross for the first time. And had a lot of conversation surrounding Mr. Muir during that one.
And what was that about?
So much love, right?
Yeah, because everyone was like, "Man, he loves that song," and I was like,
Finally get to turn the tables.
How come people don't shit on him for Cross as much as they shit on me for Chemical Reaction? Like, what's going on with that? Cross, I'm gonna say it right now, is a better song than Chemical Reaction.
Wow. Wow. All right.
So you like the song? You think, or is it's just better than the song you like the least?
Can I both?
Wait. Let's rephrase that. That he hates the most. I'm kidding.
Yeah, because you said it's trash.
Gotta go on the negative side, don't we?
He did say trash. I mean, when you trash
He
something,
said it was trash.
you normally hate it.
I mean, are you telling me you've never seen a perfectly good sandwich that was thrown away on the top of the trash and still decided to eat it?
You know what? Hey, I feel for Champ.
Point.
I gotta say something. I feel for Champ. So I fucked up. Like sometimes when you're doing a reaction, you like get caught up in the moment, and I accidentally let it out. Like, man, the vocals are trash, but it was not like literally like it was trash, but it was more like you're caught up in the moment. I was reacting with Eric, and I said, I'm like, fuck, I just pulled a Champ right now.
Yeah, except that the difference was I legitimately believed it when I said it.
Oh, yeah. I meant I just didn't like the vocals. I meant I didn't like the vocals, but sometimes I, go crazy with the adjectives.
Yeah, no, that happens, man. Like especially us from the East Coast, our immediate mode is to say the worst possible.
Exactly.
Thing. And then we've got to move into the positive slowly from there.
Yes, exactly. It definitely came out right then and there. Yeah. And if somebody's like,
we have an excuse. We have a built-in excuse. It's okay.
I'm gonna say that from now on. I'm like, it's because I'm from New York. Sorry.
Exactly. Exactly. But yeah, beyond that, not too much good stuff. My son had his first acapella concert this week, which was actually awesome. It's just cool to see him like going down that road, like the musical road. And I had to have the conversation with him the other day though, where I was like, because his choir, they demand so much time from him, so he's got to go twice. So he has class every day, and then 2 days per week he has to go, once for acapella, once for tenor bass, and then one Saturday every month also. So we're talking about like this demands so much freaking time from him. So I had to actually like sit him down and have the conversation. Like, listen, man, I like music, obviously, but there's not that much money in it unless you become a famous superstar. So if it's going to demand that much time from me, I just need you to know, like, this might not lead anywhere, man. But he loves it, and he's it's cool just to see him like have like a passion like that, and especially one that resembles mine so much. Chip off the old block.
That's really cool that he's getting into doing vocals that early though. I mean,
yeah, he like really, really likes it too. Like I was really surprised. He's never really had any sort of, I don't know, motivation for anything before, and then suddenly he was just like, "I want to be a singer." I was like, "All right, do it, bro. I'm in. I'll play guitar for you. You sing. We'll be a family band and travel the countryside."
And the thing is, at that age, even if they don't sound like audibly good, they're gonna get good. Because I remember 2 kids specifically that started singing. They were horrible. But like when I turned 25, I heard them again. I'm like, oh my God, names? You sound amazing. Kevin Congas, who's in a big band. No, him and I talk. Him and I talk about it. I know you're putting me on the spot. I'm like, okay, Kevin Congas, but he knows.
You forced him to say it.
Him and I always talk about it though. Kevin would be like, he was in Dichotic. He was a singer for Dichotic. He's one of those people that he was horrible and he was like so pissed off, and he's like, fuck this, I'm gonna keep practicing. He started a little later in life too. He started at 22.
Oh, okay.
He's the one who motivated me to start learning, even though I was like already 29. I was like, God damn. But you know what? If I feel if you put into practice, you can get good eventually. It just takes a lot of hard work when you're older. But when you're younger, my friend Sean, when I was 16, he wasn't good, and now he's an amazing singer, does lead vocal stuff himself. So I'm like, it is possible. And my problem was when I was a kid, people were like, you suck, shut up, don't do it anymore. And I listened. I listened, though, and I wish I didn't.
Really?
Though. I wish I didn't. I wish I kept going. Instead, I went to guitar, and I can't complain. I mean, guitar's great, but I wish I did vocals also because I could have done both, you know? So that's what I'm saying. Like, that's really cool. My point is, it's really cool he's starting young, and I would just keep pushing him and be like, hey, fucking keep going for it, you know?
Yeah, and that's what I'm doing. I'm kind of like doing the, hey man, I'm going to support you as long as you want to do this. For as much as you want to do this, I'll be at everything that you ever do, and I'll drive you there. I'll do everything. I'll buy everything you need. But just know, you might have to have a backup. Just
you're gonna have to learn some audio video stuff to be able to make it.
Yeah, exactly. You got to learn the technological side.
Keep it fun, but you know.
Yeah, because the truth is, like, I mean, what percentage of singers, like, what do you do if you like put all of your time into vocals during high school, right? And then you don't become a professional singer. What's your move then?
The move is you do
Jingles.
YouTube. You can do different covers. There's a lot of okay singers that do great, and they make just enough. They're not making millions, but they'll be making at least $50K a year. I know a lot of artists that will do that. They'll just do cover bands. They'll make a good amount of money, but they love doing it. And the thing with YouTube and the internet now, I think it really helps people treat it as like a day job. Like people that go to 9 to 5 and only make $50K a year or make $30K a year, that's sustainable to some extent, right? So I think now is a lot easier than back then. Back then it was a lot harder.
Yeah, it's neat now to where you can do something as a hobby, and if you find 30 people that are interested, I mean, you can get some people interested, and you can make some money with it without going to play in a shitty bar or going through a bunch of bullshit. Like with a bunch of band members that you don't get along for a year, and then you find a couple people you like, and then one of them, you know, fuck people, man. People are horrible.
Well, it's like
run
meeting
your computer and record stuff and just share it that way. It's so much easier.
Or you meet people like we all met. I would love, like, I've talked to Wave. I'm like, and Ryan, it would be awesome to like just go to you guys and like, hey, let's jam out for a weekend, you know, just travel and have a good time.
That'd be awesome.
Because I know I could jam with you guys, no problem. I just can feel like it would work well because there's no, I don't know.
I'm hoping someday we can make that happen.
Oh, dude, I want to.
So cool.
But then we get to leave and go home.
Yeah. There's that too. But
fantastic. I love everything about that.
So there's just
you're absolutely right. It's easy. It's better nowadays.
It is
like to be able to just like not be famous and still make some sort of money doing.
Like in a weird way, what killed the big, like, where it's harder to make money making music, it's almost easier on the lower side of it.
Mm-hmm.
Like
harder to make a living, but easier to make it like
something,
a side hustle, a hobby.
Yeah, exactly.
But you do have to have, there's a certain amount of initiative that comes with that too. It's like you almost have to have like a bit of an entrepreneurial spirit, I think, to have that also. Like, I mean, I can't tell you how many times I looked at my webcam and didn't turn it on before I decided that one day to actually turn it on. You know what I mean?
I thought you meant recorded videos without turning it on.
I've definitely done that before.
You know what?
Too.
You know what, Neil, guys, you want us to go on tour, we'll do it. You just gotta join the Patreon and fucking make it happen.
I mean, no,
let's make that one of the Patreon tiers.
We should.
If you join at the $5,000 level, we'll fucking tour your town.
We'll fly to your house.
Yeah, we'll do a concert in your backyard.
I'm not gonna lie,
need to rehearse for like 2 weeks together in your basement first.
Well, even just doing the live, podcast, though, like that was fun. Like it would be fun to do that again. Like have everybody
with like pro sound instead of a room full of people.
I'll bring my equipment this time.
Or a street full of freaking random people walk around their underwear.
Rosie's voice like 20 decibels higher than anyone on the podcast.
Because
chips.
all my recording stuff is portable. I honestly, the biggest issue is the mic, so I'd be able to bring it wherever we go because I have that compacted Focusrite where it only takes XLRs out in the back. Instead of XLRs are 1/4 inches, so it's 1/4 inch XLR. So we could definitely do it. It's
okay.
Cool.
When are we doing it? When and where?
Yeah, we should. It would be fun.
How about Tuesday?
There's still that problem of like thousands of miles between us. Oh yeah.
But I always forget about that point, Champ, about the entrepreneurial side of things. Like that's like the thing I always forget that is in my head when I'm like trying to motivate people to do it. I'm like, oh wait, they might not want to start a whole business on their own, you know? I always forget about that because that is a side of things where like you have to have that in you to want to do that, because there's one thing learning the skills, but to apply it to that online, like that's a whole other battle and a whole other learning curve.
It's one of two things too. It's like either you have to be like, you have to naturally have that like spirit in you where you want to do that, or you have to just hate people so much that you refuse to work with them and you're forced into doing something like that.
That sounds like Ryan.
Yeah, I fall in the latter half, honestly.
We're talking about Ryan here.
Side.
Less band
Because it's like so counterintuitive too for a musician, because that's like the last thing that most musicians want to think about. I got into music because I was kind of a hermit. I didn't have any friends. And so music was my hobby like my entire time growing up. And then I'm like, how do I, you can't do anything with it unless you start building a community and, interact with people, learn how to do both the community building and the business and video. Like you have to learn so many skills to,
I love it though,
to do it yourself,
I'm with you. I love it too, Alan. Like I do feel like it's really stressful, especially that you have to create your own schedule. You know what I mean? Like I remember one day calling my dad, like 2 years ago, maybe after I had started this channel, and my channel, not this channel. And I was like, I remember being like, Ron, I call my dad Ron. Ron, I used to feel like I needed to get my hours in, like it was like I felt good and complete and fulfilled if I got my 40 hours in per week. Like I did my job, I did what I needed to do. And then once I started working for myself, I realized it doesn't matter how many fucking hours I put in. I just have to get everything done, which is like such it's a different mentality, like completely, because you don't feel fulfilled or satisfied until you accomplish every task in your book, really. And or you have these things hanging over your head, but that could mean that you got to work for 14 hours one day, and that's the only way that you're going to accomplish that, right? So it is a totally different like sort of way to view work life.
Yeah, for me, I'm just addicted to work, like straight up. I can't imagine a day without. I that's what it is. It has to be, because if I don't do something one day, I am miserable. If I sit there all day, I will literally get pissed off at myself, and then my wife out there hear me complain about like I didn't get fucking shit done. I feel like useless. Like I have to do something every day. I can't.
Dude, I
not
totally
do something.
relate to that. Like you go from feeling like, wow, this is really working out, this is going great, to just like, I suck. Why would anyone ever listen to what I say? I can't do anything. It's like a constant battle. Dude,
it really is. It's like mentally, like, bro, I had one of those days yesterday. Like I literally worked all day yesterday. Like from the time that I woke up to the time that I went to sleep, I was just like posting stuff on Patreon, right? And by the end of the day, even though I accomplished like, I don't know, I'd say like 80% of what I wanted to actually get done yesterday, I came out of that and I looked in the mirror and I was like, I fucking hate you. Like to myself. Like,
Damn.
I totally understand
dude.
that.
Everything you just did was awful. You need to just go to bed and try again tomorrow.
No, I'm pleased.
How many times you make a video and you're like, I don't even know if this is any fucking good, and you're like, fuck it. You put it out, and then it's generally like the last one I did about the rhythms behind the solos about Bandmate. I was like, it wasn't what I envisioned at all. I envisioned voiceovers and all this cool editing and all this shit. And then once I get into it, I'm like, I just don't have the fucking patience or mind for it. So I did what I do, but people still dug it, and I kind of stumbled through some parts of music and stuff. But
nice.
I don't know. People still like it.
I enjoyed it. I watched it. I was laughing. I was like, I did a breakdown of it, and I haven't released my video because felt like how you did, Ryan. I felt stupid, but maybe I'll do it because I was watching. I'm like, oh wow, Ryan and I are
Ryan
on
puts that out. I can put my video out.
I was like, we're on the same page.
What song are you guys talking about?
I
From
did
now
it
on.
Spirit. No, well, you did From Now On.
Oh, I was talking about I watched you do From Now On. I thought the rhythms is in the beginning, right? And then you went to another song, or am I tripping?
I didn't do that. No, it was Spirit, Moratorium, and What's the fucking other one?
That's right.
Good
Why
God.
did I think you did From Now On? Maybe I just confused it with mine because I was watching your video and I was like, oh, that's
What was the other
awesome. And I was like, I don't know where I got From Now On from.
I've done like 4 From Now On videos in the past 2 weeks.
Oh, and Scream.
Scream, that's what it was. I don't know. I'm sorry, I confused those.
And just how heavy the rhythms get when the solos come up. Like they get fucking metal, dude. They're like really, really heavy. And Screaming was actually less going on than I thought there was going to be. It was really fun to do.
What's Spirit?
Spirit is one of the best songs ever written. Champ.
I've never heard it.
I love it. It's a song I liked in the beginning, and now it's become like one of my top 5 songs. I love it.
Wait, it's a Bandmate song?
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
What?
Check it out. It's really good.
On what album?
The World Domination.
I think what it was, Ryan, I think one of those songs are in the
listened to
same key as From Now On. Maybe that's why I'm meshing them together. I think they might be because one of the riffs you were playing. Why did I think I'm still like baffled why I was thinking that because I was watching your video and I'm like, why does that seem like that riff behind? Because you're playing Moratorium.
Having an internal war right now.
Yeah. I'm having an internal war right now.
He was watching Ryan's video, just like, dude, these are the total different chords that I was playing in my From Now On. I don't understand.
One of us
This is why
just
the
wrong.
Mandela effect.
I'm just wrong.
It's like there's 2 different parallel realities.
It's because I was like watching his video. I was watching his video like passing, like working on stuff while hearing him talk about it and playing the riffs. So that's probably what was going on. It's probably just meshing. Anyways,
it reminds me when I was doing a video for Giovanni and I started playing Black Hole, or the reverse of that. I think it was I was doing a video for Black Hole and I started playing Giovanni chords. Like these aren't right at all. I just went over this. What's going on? Oh, it's the wrong fucking song. Anyway,
all right. So let's talk about why Japan hates this song. So it's Ado specifically, and it's Yusiwa. And I thought it was a pretty interesting video. He goes into detail about what the lyrics mean. So that's really cool. Like he's just breaking down the lyrics and why. And, he's from Japan, lives over there. And yeah, so we're going to check that out. We're going to react to this video.
So just out of curiosity for you guys, had you heard anything about the political ramifications of the lyrics of this song prior?
No, I don't know anything about
to this video.
Actually.
No. I just
Okay,
knew that it was...
I had a couple people comment on mine when I did the reaction for this song, like long ass paragraphs of comments, and I read them all, and some of that shit was like, I was like, oh damn, dude, this song is way deeper than I thought it was.
Wow.
I had no idea, because like if you don't understand the political situation in Japan, you would have no idea what the fuck she's referring to, right? And I'm sure this guy will go through it, but it is actually really, really deep. And knowing like the stories behind it now, like I could see why there's a chunk of people that like are really not happy with it.
Like somebody said, she always sings about stuff that the younger generation's struggling with, and this hit home the most
Lady
with
Bird's
everyone.
Manager.
Yeah.
It does seem like there might be like a generational gap between if you like the song or dislike the song.
Interesting.
Yeah. So I think he's
why
referring to the older generation that, when he says Japan hates this song. What you could say, like, the older generation is pretty much the political and the government of Japan, right? Champ, pretty much.
I'm sorry, say that again?
Like, so when he's saying why Japan hates this song, he's meaning, like, the political governments and, like, the higher-ups.
I think he's talking about... so I don't want to speak out of turn, so we're going to let him talk.
Yeah,
but just from from my perspective, just like, I think it's more of like, the difference between like conservatives and liberals here. I guess they have something like that over there also, probably different than what we know of over here. But I think that's sort of how it goes.
Yeah, the older generation, Eric says, makes up the majority of Japan, I think.
Well, they're a conservative nation in general, right? Yeah. So like you would think that the older generation would probably hold on to that stronger. The traditions
is they have yes. If I remember correctly, they have an older population too, right? Overall.
That I don't know, but
I'll look it up while we're watching it. But here we go. Let's play the video. I'm sure he'll give more facts and stuff to it. What? Oh, so this is the beginning. Okay.
Defining song.
Okay. Let me turn this on for you guys.
This song is very important in the context of Japanese popular culture. And some people think it's one of those generation-defining songs. And it sounds like this. Use I obviously listen to this song for
Can you turn it up
research
just a little,
purposes
Alan?
only, and I definitely don't catch myself singing this song because the chorus is so catchy.
It's max volume.
This song got 10 million views only after a couple of months, and now it has more than 140 million views. It's probably the most popular song in the past.
Sorry, I was trying to turn it up and then it froze everything. Sorry. Okay, now it's not working.
Can directly
It's
be
back.
translated as something like noisy, as in you're too noisy. But more conventionally, it's translated as shut up. The song got very mixed reactions, even though it's very popular. Some people loved it. This person said, I express my daily tiredness with this song and sing. But some people hate it with passion. This person says, this song is naturally creepy and cringy, worse than rubbish. Parents especially didn't like this song because their kids sing it all the time, telling their parents to shut up. This mom says, these words are bad for kids' education. And this is not exactly the kind of song that tells kids to listen to their parents and teachers. So what is
I feel
the
like this is
song
like
about?
Nirvana back in
Let's
1993.
take a look at the lyrics together because you might not speak Japanese. But if you want to learn Japanese with me, I will teach you the kind of Japanese the real-life Japanese people today actually speak, which can be different from the
That was a good point. So you were saying like, is Nirvana back in the day pretty much like happening here in Japan? It does sound like that, doesn't it?
Beastie Boys, dude.
Stuff like that.
My parents like took the my Beastie Boys tape away because
kind
it
of
was
Japanese
just something
that textbooks and
you know, we shouldn't be hearing this stuff. And it's, you listen to it now and there was vague talk about, well, not vague talk. There's talk about drinking and drugs and like stuff, but it wasn't like the main context of their music. It was mainly talking about, well, I would fight for your right to party, obviously, which for them was a goof on people that lived like that, but people took it as, we need to fight for our right to party.
Yeah. You know what would be probably the most
anymore. It may have been because when one lyric came up and said, I can't pay attention because I'm on that dust. I said, see, he says he can't pay attention because he's on drugs.
Just too reasonable, Ryan.
Yeah.
If you
I was like,
actually
"Hey,
listen to the
You
context.
see? I know
That's
to
the
do
problem.
drugs now.
95% of people don't listen to context.
Thank you,
Yeah.
Beastie Boys.
That is
Drugs are bad.
very true. I mean, like if you were to listen to like, I mean, how big was Rage Against the Machine back in the day, right? And they were like,
Jesus,
they were like specifically targeting the social dynamic of our country, right?
Yeah, man.
yeah.
From a young age, I've been a good kid. Before I knew it, I was already a grown-up. So you can already see that she's the type of person who's listened to her parents and teachers. When she was little, people around her would say that, oh, she's such a good kid. But is she really happy? But I'm not having enough fun. Something is missing. These troubles better be somebody's fault. You can see that she always tries to meet other people's expectations. She hasn't been doing what she really wants, but she doesn't know what she really wants either, and she doesn't know what's missing in her life. Checking economy news on my way to work. Joining a company with a pure mind. These are the obvious rules when you have a job. So now she works for a company, and as always, she does what she's supposed to do. That's what she's been doing all her life. This is the initial setup of the song, but what she really wants to say is in the chorus. And it goes, huh? Shut up, shut up, shut up. I'm healthier than you think. And Usewa is also the title of the song.
So, this makes so much more sense now when he said that part. I'm like, oh, shut up, shut up. I'm like, oh, wow, this is making so much more sense. Like, it just brings all the tones and everything into context when he was breaking this down, like the way that she gets rougher with her voice during the chorus and like starts adding a grit. I'm like, oh, okay, that's why it was like so intense on that part of the song. Because I like the song.
Fuck you, I won't do what you tell me.
Yeah, there you
exactly.
go.
You won't do what you tell me. Yeah, exactly. That's what I was thinking of too.
Well, that's so yes, people, I can see why it'd be very divisory, you know.
Yeah.
You don't want to hear that kind of talk and upheaval with the youths.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
like
that's the
those damn
thing. Like
youths.
kids listen to music. They don't understand context. They can't, oh, hello, I'm frozen. They can't put the full picture together and understand like Ado's through the story of the song is kind of, you know, she's playing both sides in the lyrics, you know, and
Right.
like kids, they just hear "shut up" and then they go around saying that to adults. So I understand why the kids don't get it, and they just hear a catchy song and feel rebellious, and then the adults, you know, they don't have time to listen to the context of the song, so they're like, "Why are you? What happened? Why are you so disrespectful all of a sudden?" You know, like,
Yeah, but
like,
I mean,
like they said in the chat right now, Midi said, "I wouldn't want kids running around screaming out UC though," and that's a fair point.
yeah,
very.
So
fair
I wouldn't want that either. But I feel like I feel like, okay, even with like Rage Against the Machine, right? Like when I'm hearing that when I'm like 12 years old, I'm not running up to my parents and be like, "Fuck you, I won't do what you tell me." You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like
yeah.
if your kids are running around because they heard a song screaming "shut up" to their parents, I mean that might be
My
a
mom would have
parenting
backhanded
issue
me in
more
the
than
face.
That's
listening.
also why they don't like it.
Yeah, like maybe you should parent your kids better so that they don't do that, because I wasn't doing that just because I was listening to music.
Oh, my mom would
So-
beat my ass. Well, 100%. There would have been a backhand
I'd
to
get
the
in so
face
much trouble
real
for
quick.
that. I'd be done, bro. I'd be done forever.
grounded for a month if they found that CD.
Oh man.
So it's a controversial song because it's written by a youth and the youth like it. That sounds like fucking punk and metal and rock and the history of music, man.
Yeah.
This is
Also,
why I like
the
Japanese
Beatles were
music.
fucking hated by adults when they came out, dude. They were hated by adults,
Yeah.
and the kids loved them.
it's funny because we're all adults talking about this too.
I know, right?
I mean, we definitely look like adults.
We're all still
Well,
rebel kids on the inside.
Three
I'm
of us.
wearing my grandma shawl right now.
Man, I should have clean shaved so I could look like a kid. Fuck.
This is part of why I love Japanese music, though, is because I can focus 100% on the music because I don't understand what the heck they're saying. You know, ignorance is bliss.
Mm,
Even
facts,
like
bro.
Eric said, even with Elvis, that's a good
I was
point
just gonna
too.
say, yeah, Elvis, he was a freaking demon when he came out. You can't move like that.
Yeah, how
can't-
dare you shake that hip from left to right?
Man,
Oh.
if I said any of that words though, I would get it backhand to the face so quick. It's so fast. That would never happen. Me telling my
See,
mom
I
to
dug
fuck
Rage
off.
Against the Machine, but I didn't go, "Hey, you guys heard this song? What is it? Let me fucking show you." You know what I mean?
Yeah,
But
I
they're
wasn't
aware of it.
See,
You know, songs like something like that doesn't need edited on the radio or on popular music.
I was
And
also
it can be played repeatedly, and it's going to be heard by various ages, and yeah, it's going to be more known.
yeah.
I do question though, like, you know, because my parents would have only heard songs like Rage Against the Machine songs back then in the 90s, right? If they were to put on the FM radio station that was actually playing that song, you know, otherwise they're
It's a lot
never
more
hearing that
general.
because they're listening to different radio stations, you know? So I'm wondering, like, in Japan right now, is it like no matter where you go, you're hearing the song, or is it like you have to actually like turn on something that's going to present this song to you?
Well, what genre does it fit in? Like,
I don't
doesn't
really think it has a
you know,
genre, right?
So it probably
Like-
gets played cross-played more than
See,
you
for
know,
me,
that
things
fit into
things were a little weird growing up because my mom listened to Rage Against the Machine. She loved 90s metal and stuff. So that was also that's also a thing. But maybe that kind of helped with the situation. Like you just know better, like not to do that. Maybe since my parents did listen to modern music technically at the time. My dad didn't, but my mom did. She loved Nirvana and Pearl Jam stuff. That's why I'm such a huge fan of those bands, I think, because I grew up with it. So maybe that's the thing. Maybe because she actually did understand the full context of the song. And of course, if I did anything out of line, you know, she'd be going after me. But maybe I just thought about that. That could be a reason too. How about for you guys? Did your parents listen to like the same music you're listening to, or was it completely different?
hell no, man.
Like I said last week, my first rock band I heard was System of a Down in middle school.
Oh shit! Really? Fuck.
Dude, that's what's fucked up, dude. Okay, so my parents, their rap wasn't a thing for like their youth.
Mhm.
There just wasn't. They came about in the late 70s, like when they're already pretty much adults, you know, and it didn't really become popular till what, the early to mid 80s, like well known, well played more across the country. So it just
Mhm.
wasn't a thing. So to me, I like this new weird music. I didn't know, you know, who was doing what or where or anything. I just liked it. And they hated it because it was new and they just never had it as you. So they're an adult and you hear that for the first time, as opposed to having a more open mind when you're a kid, because what they listened to, we're driving around town, it was like fucking 50s music, like oldies and country music, occasionally classic rock, but classic rock was almost like current rock because I'm older than you guys.
I gotta say, my parents are probably the same age as your parents, though. My dad had me when I was 40. When he was 40.
Oh, right on.
So my parents are like 70s now.
Okay.
Oh,
yeah,
wow.
that is similar then.
That's a big jump.
Yeah.
For my parents.
And I'm 10 years older than from my son age. I'm 30 years older than my son. My dad's like 21 years older than me. So there's like a difference even there. But it's just I don't know. It's just like, so there's music like when Wave heard System of a Down for the first time, I heard him as like my senior year, or whatever, when it came out or whatever.
You'd already been initiated into the rock culture at that point.
Yeah. But like I had rap, and there was Run DMC who mixed rock and rap. So there's these big beats and heavy stuff going on. So it'd been a thing when I was young, and it kind of expanded when I was a young adult or whatever. So it wasn't like weird to hear that shit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I was raised solely on country music, so I didn't even know anything else existed until I was like in middle school.
Crazy.
Wow.
And like, so, and all of the songs are about the same fucking thing. It's like, give me back my truck, and like, you know, I need my beer, you know, like, so it's like I heard the same
trucks, beers,
yeah, never
jeans.
was I love my mom, I love my truck, and I love my beer, like every country song, right? Like, and I didn't even know there was music that actually like had political commentary on it until probably I heard Rage Against the Machine when I was like 12 or 13.
Right on.
Wow. All right.
Very catchy, and you hear this repeatedly. She's expressing her frustration and anger. She's probably saying this to her boss. Now, what healthy means here is unclear, but it makes me think of a person who watches a lot of anime and plays video games in their room. They don't go out very often, and they probably don't have a lot of friends, so other people think they are unhealthy. But she says, "You are too mediocre to understand me, perhaps." Now, let's think about how she sees herself. She thinks other people are mediocre, which implies that she thinks she is somewhat special. She's better than other people. But then she says, "Yeah, I'm an exemplary person. So no thank you to actually punching someone." So here she goes back to her usual good kid, good student, good employee persona. You can see the gap between her inner self and outer self. Inside, she thinks she's special. She's angry and frustrated. But outside, she's a good employee and she acts like other mediocre people. Then she goes,
I just want to say that I also like, so I had read these lyrics before, right? And I'm sure he's right about what he's saying right there, but I thought that there was a bit of a metaphorical thing going on there too with that line when she's saying "I won't punch somebody." I thought she was referring more to like punching down. So like by saying like I'm an exemplary person, like I hold myself to a high status, I wouldn't dare punch down on the people that I feel are below me, which is why I keep myself at this sort of like neutral spot.
And why she despises the way that things are running, maybe. Something like that. That's interesting.
Listen to what he said. I took it as, it seems to me that she's saying, although yes, I have rage, I'm mad, it doesn't mean I'm fucked up. It means that's a normalcy for people now. Like
it's how I should feel. Like I've
right. It doesn't mean I'm messed up. It just means I'm thinking about things, and it's not. What was it? Showing your emotion. You shouldn't be doing that. If you're showing how you feel, it's like, no, I'm not fucked up because I'm showing how I feel. Maybe people should show how they feel. Maybe, but
open your eyes.
Yeah, it's like Well, I mean, it's people like we know more and more about mental health now. Okay, and we're talking about it more and more. And it used to be, oh, you're what? You're sad all the time. You fucked up.
Just be
There's
happy.
something wrong with you. It's like, well, No, it happens to a lot of people, and once you address it, it becomes like, okay, it's a thing. It doesn't mean you're, you know what I mean?
When you don't have to live alone with it, like when you know that other people are feeling the same thing, and also that it's okay to talk to other people about it, you feel better about it also, and like you have a relationship with these people, like you can relate to them now. And I feel like when people are telling you to just shut up and let it sit in your head, it festers, it gets worse. Why you think that you're special in a negative way, you think that there's something wrong with you, you know what I mean?
That's why this song is so popular, because it is relatable for the younger generation, and that's why it has hundreds of millions of views and keeps going up there. Because now I believe what Lady Beer's manager was saying from that interview. It makes complete sense. It's just connecting with the younger generation. When you hear him explain it like that, you're like, oh, wow. So, like, it just all makes sense, because she was on point, that manager, when she said that. And then I heard Yuta talk about it. I'm like, wow, this is makes a lot of sense. So she's saying the things. She's saying the things that people are too scared to say. And whenever you do that in the media or entertainment, it's always going to do well. You know, it's kind of like Limp Bizkit in 1999 when he's saying, like, fuck everyone. That attitude resonated so well because there's a lot of disgruntled people in the U.S., especially up in, like, the suburbs and stuff like that. And that's why those new metal groups are so popular back then, because they're like, yeah, people are fucking angry and pissed off. Now there's this guy saying it's just one of those days, and they're like, yes, it is just one of those fucking days, you know? It's just relatable. And then, you know.
Reminds me of work in general. You're a dissenter. You're a dissenter. You're a problem. Not a problem. The way this company's ran is a fucking problem. I'm trying to help fix it. But I'm not the. There's nothing wrong with me. Your system's fucked up.
Yeah.
You know, and that's what I was trying to say for the last 10 fucking minutes.
No, we got you, man.
We got you. We got it out of you.
This takes me back to, like, the original mentality of why punk rock was created in the first place, right? Like, this is what punk rock's mood is in general as a whole, right? Like, she could slot right in there. She
just made it sound freaking beautiful.
Yes.
She's just got more talent.
Yeah. She's got. It's very true, though. No, it's a good point, though. Like, it's how you express it, right? It's like Ryan just said. I just try to explain it for 10 minutes, but then finally figured out a way to say it perfectly within a minute, right? It's like one of those things. There's always a better way to say something, and I think that's a good point, you know? I think we all struggle with that. Like, when we're like, damn it, I'm like trying to say this, but you kind of go around until you get it perfect. That's the beautiful thing about writing lyrics. You know, I was just writing lyrics the other day, and it's like, oh shit, okay, this is what I'm really trying to say. How can I say this in one sentence? You know, to kind of get it conveyed. So it's really perfect. It's really beautiful when an artist like her, who's so talented vocally and has these. I didn't realize the lyrics were so well thought out. And I'm not sure if she writes the lyrics herself or she has a producer that helps her with it. It seems like it's coming from her, because
I'm
otherwise,
almost positive that I read that she at least has a hand in writing the lyrics.
Well, either way, it's resonating. So she must have some team behind her, and it's still coming off as authentic enough.
She also talked about her producer that she works with most commonly, and like how he writes the music so that she can like enunciate certain parts of the song vocally to go with the lyrics and create, like, you know, stressful sounds and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Nice.
Point my muzzle of words to your head and fire. So she attacks people only verbally and not physically. This is like she's been bottling up her anger and she finally snaps. At the same time, she still thinks rationally and she doesn't resort to violence. But there are so many things that she finds annoying. I'm fucking tired. Pour drinks when glasses are empty. This implies that she's pretty young and she hasn't been working for this company for a long time. She's one of the youngest people, so she has to do a lot of stuff for her co-workers and bosses who are senior to her. To be fair, not many people would like this. And she goes, huh? Shut up, shut up, shut up. Close your stinking mouth. I can't stand it. This is a pretty popular line, and I can see that because many people dream of saying this to their boss. So you can see how this song resonates with people who are frustrated at work.
Simno says Usiwa was written by Sudoa, which I just checked out some music from him, and he's really, really good. He just did a Chainsaw Man ending, and it's really good. So, and I think he's 31, if I'm not mistaken, correct me if I'm wrong, Simno. So yeah, he's still part of that, younger
baby.
generation growing up.
Or in school. But then she goes as far as to say, I'm your so-called genius. And this is a little over the top. Of course, she's been a good student and she probably works for a good company, but there's nothing that shows that she's exceptionally gifted. She hasn't done anything impressive in her life and she's not doing anything either. It's probably just her who thinks she's very special and her confidence is unfounded. We have a...
So Mikoto's saying in the chat that Yuta didn't research Ado. She wasn't yet out of high school. So this is when she's in high school.
I gotta say though, I think Ado's playing a character in the song. I don't think she's singing directly from personal experience.
Isn't she playing multiple
like a lot of
characters in the
music?
song?
You create a character and then you sing from their perspective.
Yeah. Do you?
He's
But do you
saying
think
the
but how
person
would?
is very young,
Yeah.
so he's not wrong.
But
And
I mean,
since
like
it was-
talking about going into work and stuff.
So maybe the person who wrote it, maybe it's from what he had to deal with already, maybe the way that he wrote it. And then she was able to, just the fact that she could convey what he was struggling with is pretty fucking impressive. That's really, that just makes it even crazier that she was able to tap into that character. I mean, that's like acting, you're acting at essentially, but that's really good acting at that point.
So a really good singer does.
Yeah.
Well, she plays Uta on One Piece, right?
Yeah.
So she does act. Sorry, Champ. What were you gonna say?
Nothing. No, I agree with you.
I still feel like sometimes the best acting is when you've experienced a little bit of that thing in your life at some point. I think it's even easier. And I don't know. I feel like it's just something that's probably in Japan, like everybody's been mentioning, it's probably just been around, and that's the whole sentiment kind of going around, so everybody can find it easy to relate.
I gotta say too, like, to play devil's advocate a little bit, the conformity and structure and unity is one of the contributing factors probably to why Japanese people have such good discipline. They're so good at learning instruments.
True.
They're so good at creating amazing, fascinating music. Like you never hear laziness in the Japanese music we listen to. So it is a valuable trait to have that discipline and that, structure. But then, when it's suppressing people, and
to maintain that, you don't want anybody deviating from the kind of the norm.
Yeah. You gotta have to have balance, right? A healthy balance
control.
of both.
Yeah, balance.
Yeah. Which is the hardest thing to do.
But for this kind of attitude, it's Chunibyo or 8th grade syndrome, which I discussed extensively in another video. It's a typical middle schooler mindset, the beliefs that they have some type of special power even though they haven't achieved anything. And some of them believe that they are actually a dangerous person even though they are very quiet outside. They think being crazy and dangerous is cool, and they are so different from other mediocre people. In this song, the protagonist isn't a middle schooler. She's an adult and she has a job, but she still has this chunibyo mindset, which is very cringy. But then again, many young people who start working for a company for the first time feel like this. They overestimate their competence and they feel like they can do a much better job than their seniors, even though they haven't achieved anything yet. There's nothing special about this kind of mindset, and that's probably one.
Uta was just sang for the character. She didn't do the acting, from what I see.
I thought you paused because I put my finger up. I just wanted to say, like, this part really resonated with me here because, like, what we were talking about earlier with having to, to have a career in music these days, you have to learn a bunch of different skills. You have to build community and stuff and not just perform music. And, like, that was one of the biggest turning points for me because I did have this mindset when I was a kid. Like, because I was so sheltered, like I was talking about earlier, I spent a lot of time with my parents. And, my mom made me feel special and I never had any outside influence, to like get used to being humble and interacting with other people. And that was for me one of the biggest things that I had to like put myself in check, have some humility, and like start respecting other people's talent that's so much better than mine. And also like the people watching and stuff, like I don't know any better than anyone else. I just do my thing and value everyone's opinion, you know, give everyone's opinion a chance. And that's something I really struggled with back when I first started YouTube in 2006, because I was such a shut-in. I didn't have the ability to like see everyone's perspective. If they were critical of me, I was just like, no, you're wrong, you idiot. So like that's a skill I had to learn in order to be able to start doing this and start forming community, because now I love the community. I love people's insight and critique, and like I try my best to look at every alternate opinion, even if it's hard sometimes. Sometimes it triggers me a little bit, but then I gotta be like, I'm wrong. And
you realize how valuable this information is, and this interaction between all these other people that have all these experiences that, unless you've been out of the country, you don't know. You know, that's, you can only feed on information instead of ignoring that information.
I also feel like it's very rarely just a black and white issue, and a lot of people try to make everything into a black and white issue, but I would say like 98.5% of the time there is a gray area there where you can have a debate or a discussion with somebody that may have a different viewpoint than you, and you can find a way to meet in the middle as long as you understand things beyond just your own ethical idealist thought process.
Yeah, that's what I love about this podcast, is that 4 different people with different opinions all came together, who we could have seen each other as competition, but Alan reached out, he got us all together, and now we're, you know, well, I see you guys as friends, and it's just really cool to have 4 friends that we all have different opinions. We rarely ever all agree on something, but we still have great conversations and do it for the love of the music, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, man. For the love of the game, baby.
Just to give you guys just a little bit of just give you guys a little bit of facts on this. So the 2 Uta is being sung by Ado, but it comes to life through the acting through Nizuka Kaori, who delivers the dialogue. So that's what it was. I had a feeling it was that. So that's what's going on. Cool. But either way, I'm sure she could do voice acting, no problem. But
100%, like 100%, like she's voice acting in her music. You know what I mean? Like it's not just her singing. She's definitely forward on the personality and charisma scale. You know, so I could totally see her just doing.
Yeah, she could. It sounds like she can do anything with her voice. Like,
I love this. Ollie says, in my estimation, that 95% are nice, 3% are great, and only 2% assholes.
Wow, we got some of the 2% on the podcast.
Yeah. It's all down here. No, I was kidding. Just kidding. I'm kidding. Right?
You ever hear the
33% of this? How's that?
I'm definitely not an asshole. Okay.
You guys ever see Team America?
Yeah.
Fuck yeah.
You ever hear the dicks, assholes, and pussies? That's what the world is made of. I'm not gonna repeat the exact quote here, but look it up. Dicks, assholes, and pussies.
Why not? You just said all the words.
What are you worried about?
I'm worried about.
Got demonetized.
I'm worried about saying the quote wrong, obviously. I just don't remember the whole thing. But I'm telling you, man, it left an imprint on my brain.
Yeah, how could it not?
All 4 of you agreed. That's Keith. All right.
The reasons why this song is so popular. And the song is aware of that. Listen to this last part. I know I'm not a big deal either, but I don't care. No problem at all. Many people are missing this part, but this is quite important because it adds another layer to the song. Despite the fact that she's been saying, oh, I'm a genius, other people are mediocre, she kind of knows that she's not as special as she thinks. And that's probably why she's so frustrated. She doesn't want to think about the fact that she might be as mediocre as other people. So you can also think of this song as a satirical take of people like her. In the last part of the music video, there's a red dot on her forehead. It's like her own criticism is coming back to her. This is an important nuance that you shouldn't be missing. Now, when I heard this song, I thought, yeah, I know people like this person, and I don't like them. This song doesn't resonate with me because I'm not that kind of person and I'm in a very different situation. But the song reminds me of some people I met in my university. They are the type of people who do what other people expect them to do. They certainly studied very hard to get into that university, and since it's the type of university that people look up to, they might feel somewhat superior. So, big ego. At the same time, they're afraid of confrontations and they don't know how to express their opinions in a constructive way. If you ask them to do something, they would say yes, even though they might not be happy with it. They might just complain about it afterwards behind your back. It's not easy to know what they really think because they will give you the kind of answer that you want to hear, not the kind of answer they really want to give.
So I like that interpretation that he brought up. I also like what Mikoto said too. Who knows what it could mean, but that's really cool when a song has multiple meanings. You could take the whole red dot for. So Mikoto said the red dot is a sniper, someone who is gunning for her because she's sticking out from society. I totally see that point, and I see his point at the same time. Depends on how deep you want to go with it, you know?
Yeah, I really like this point too. What the heck was he just talking about? Oh yeah, about people, like, rather than being honest about your opinion with people, saying what they want to hear because you're afraid that they won't like it. And that's something I struggled with my whole life because one of my parents is like this, like, never says what they're thinking and always just tries to make people happy, but is never happy themselves. Always like very tense and worried about everything. And so that's something I struggled with huge in my early 20s and stuff. Hopefully I'm getting better now. But like, I think that's also why I always have to find something I like about a song, even if I don't love it, you know? But anyway, I'm trying to get better about that, just like being honest with people. That just really resonated with me, you know?
Yeah, and I think it's important. Like we were kind of just talking about this when it came to like mental status and how much we feel comfortable talking and discussing this with other people, because that is part of it too, right? Like it's about being honest, not just with like what you're thinking, but what you're feeling. And a tradition would tell us to shut the fuck up if we're trying to go against what society dictates as the norm, right? So whenever you try to break through that, then it's going to do two things. It's going to, one, create backlash, and two, create progression, right? So it's like it's how much is the backlash going to overtake the progression, or is the progression going to overtake the backlash, right? So it really is like Alan was saying before, a really strong balancing game.
Yeah.
It is. That's why you need people from all different points of view, because otherwise one can get out of hand if it goes too far in one way, but it can also get out of hand if it goes too far the other way. So that's why you have to have the constant conversations to keep everything balanced. Because if you don't and you suppress one side of things, it could turn into chaos really quickly. It's just been proven over and over again.
Wrap up what I was saying real quick with like, you can't really have a close relationship with someone if you're not honest with them, if they can never know who you are because you're just saying things they want to hear. I was watching a video about it, completely unrelated to music, about how friendships are destined to fall apart if you have that mindset, if you're always trying to say what people want to hear instead of what you're actually thinking. Like, you might be the nice guy that people want to have around, but they're never actually going to have a close bond with you, and you'll be easily dismissed basically because you don't have that close bond where you're like, oh, you struggle with this too, like we were talking about earlier, relating to the youth, making them feel less crazy for having problems with the way things are going. Like, if you're not talking about those things honestly and just saying safe things to keep the peace, you can never really have that close bond, Does that make sense?
Yeah.
It does make sense because that's why I've lost friends over and over again, is because they didn't like to say stuff, and I would, not that it was anything against them, it's just like I have to say this because if I don't, it's going to get worse, you know? And some people don't like that. They're like, well, I don't like that you think this, so I'm not going to be around you anymore, which is fine. That's up to them. That's their decision. But at the same time, it's not like, hey, let me just say this out loud so I can hear how ridiculous it sounds, and that's my way of getting through something, you know?
Yeah, and that's their problem. They're the ones choosing to not let in that opinion. You're just being yourself, you know?
Yeah.
So I'm going to play devil's advocate a little bit on that.
Yeah.
Not that I actually believe this, but I do wonder sometimes, because of just how life is set up, how real anything is. Man, this is starting to get deep at this point. But relationships,
we need local band smoke out here.
Yeah. I mean, beyond like you know, not real like physically real, but like a relationship, for example, right? How much of it is real versus how much of it is the perception of reality? And can you get by just on perception without actually having that real life connection in there? And I think that a lot of people probably can live their life just feeling like they have a connection, even if it's not a real one, and it wouldn't at the end of the day bother them that much because that's the mentality that they have, versus somebody like Alan, for example, who really is motivated and pushed forward by his feelings and talking about them and thinking about them and having discussions about them. It would be key and important to you to be able to have that connection with somebody in a real relationship. But I do wonder if there are a lot of people out there that don't require that at all, you know, and still feel like they have just as real of a connection with people around them.
There is some people, and like that's why I feel like you have those layers of friends. There's definitely people I'm friends with that are very, I consider them surface. Like we talk about the things that we know is comfortable for everyone, but then there's you guys where I can say a little bit more deeper stuff. Those are the friendships I prefer. But there's definitely people I'm friends with that are like more like surface level. That it's like, oh, we're just gonna talk about this casual stuff. But to me,
like acquaintances,
intellectually, that's boring as fuck for me.
Work friends.
So
I'll tolerate
these guys I talk to on the weekend. I want to point out what Ollie said here, because this is a good point. I feel like relationships between people, because they're on like an emotional level, are all perception, you know?
Yeah.
Someone gets in a car accident, loses their memory, that's severed, you know? There's no relationship anymore. Whereas like things in reality, like societal structures and physical things, you know, that's reality. But is there reality when it comes to relationships between people? Because it's all on a metaphysical level.
Whoa.
Right, and it does go kind of deep like on that, right? Because you're right, it can just change it. And also
let's start doing shrooms, guys. Let's just do shrooms right now. Might as well add that and smoke some weed. let's see what happens.
Right. But you really, you never know what the other person is thinking, even if you feel like you have, let's say you think you have a really close relationship. Let's just put numbers on this just to make it easier, right? Let's say you feel like you have a 10 out of 10 relationship with somebody. They might only feel you have an 8 out of 10 relationship with them, but you're not going to have that discussion ever, right? So do you ever have that true connection when the scales are so off balance?
Yeah.
Great, thanks.
Yeah, I have been wondering that, because I feel
Does
like
your wife really love you?
Fuck you,
I
Jan.
feel like
I'm gonna go take some shrooms. Ask Dragon the ultimate answer, says Pewbacca. Let's do it.
I,
Supposed to be fun.
I totally get what you mean though. Like
Screwing
I
around
feel
on a
like I have a
podcast.
10 out of 10 with all you guys, but then maybe you think of like Wave's like a 4. Like,
Oh fuck! I do not think
Don't worry,
that.
Wave, I don't think any of us are putting you out of 4, man. Don't worry. And let's not put. I take it back. Let's not put numbers on our relationships. That is a terrible idea.
All right, guys. Let's rate each other's friendships. Let's go down.
Yeah, right.
I'll give you a number, but I'm not giving you the maximum. I'll give you a 10.
Wave, I give you a 10, okay? You're
out of
good.
100.
Just remember, amps go up to fucking 11
Out of
right?
10.
That's the real end.
You know what? Yeah, Eric said 11 out of 10. There you go. Yeah, I agree. 11 out of 10. There, Wave.
I think you
You're
missed
my
a 0
favorite.
there.
You're my favorite friends that I podcast with.
There you go.
That's a fact.
Same, brother.
All right.
Rosie, girl talk with guys and guys.
Do girls talk about this stuff more than guys do? Is that a thing? Did we just
Doesn't have to be
find that
girl
out?
talk, Rosie. It's just talk.
I think this is
Really
philosophy
hard to
talk.
deal
I
with
think this
that
is like
kind of-
philosophy class.
Yeah.
People because
Don't put me in a
on the
box.
superficial level, they say yes to your request. But if you're in a closer relationship, for example, if you date them or if you marry them, it's not gonna be easy because you don't really know what they really think. They complain, but they don't really do anything to change the situation. But they still think that they are somewhat special. So I don't like that kind of person at all. But I can totally understand why many people find this song relatable because we have many of those people in Japan. But there's another very important context that you need to understand. If you are familiar with Japanese popular culture and
Oh my
listen to
gosh,
this song, you will probably think that this song sounds like a Vocaloid song.
Isn't
And
that
that's
from The
because
Incredibles,
this song
Ryan?
is coming from the vocal.
Yeah, and the guy that did produce the song, he was a Vocaloid producer, and that's pretty much it. I thought that was fascinating. He's talking about, he just goes in and talks about the production of the song and how it is like, very Vocaloid style, and he goes on to talk about how like that culture in the Vocaloid community are very outspoken and about things that they're hiding because they don't have to sing it themselves. They're just programming it into the voice. So it's easier for them to do that because if they're singing it out themselves, it feels stupid to them because of how the society is in Japan. So that's why there is this thing for Vocaloid over in Japan because it's much easier to have a robot sing what they're feeling rather
Never
than
thought of that.
feeling.
It
Same.
seemed to me like just a goofy fucking thing you could do with technology. I never thought it'd be like an actual vehicle to like get points across.
Like a
Seriously,
reason.
I just never thought it was a serious thing. It's like, okay, look what we can do.
Yeah, after hearing that, I was like, I have so much
that's
more
interesting.
appreciation for Vocaloid. I was like,
Yeah,
all right.
I wonder
Yeah,
if it's
dude.
like the difference between texting it and calling somebody, right? Like it's easier to
Oh.
type something and just send the message,
It is.
knowing that you're not going to get an immediate response and it's
And I
not
imagine
your
all of
actual
us are
voice
like-
saying.
Yeah.
it.
And you can fully think everything through and word it exactly the way you want to.
All right, we're
Yeah.
typing the podcast from now on. We're just going to come on here, show our face, block our faces. We're going to type back and forth. Everyone has to read the podcast.
Sorry, guys. I have to take my own little personal break here.
Me too.
All right.
I had a lot of
All right.
coffee.
Go for
I
it.
literally pulled up the podcast like 2 minutes ago so I could get up and keep up with you guys.
Wow. And then there's two.
Hey,
Man,
Alan.
this conversation got so deep they had to piss.
They had to piss out their feelings, man.
God damn.
Too many feelings. Got to release them somehow.
Hey, I just want to go to say, like, Otto, I mean, this is really cool that this was her debut song, right? Onto the Scene,
Yep.
which is just fucking insane to just hit it that big. And shout out to Sudo, the producer and the writer of the song. Like, that's really exciting. That's exciting, like, that they were able to do that right out the gate with the debut song. And
It's incredible.
us
It's
talking.
incredible.
yeah, us talking about this song is bringing up all these conversations. So obviously, if it's bringing up all this with us, I can't imagine what it's doing over there, right?
Yeah, you know what would be an interesting conversation too? Just if this wasn't her first song, right? Like, let's say this was not her like debut breakout song. Let's say she did Taupe Musica first, right? And this came out this year. Would she have gotten the same sort of push to the front without those sort of like societal implications coming from it? Because obviously, from a talent perspective, I think she's top of the line, upper echelon, grade A material, right? But obviously this created a large conversation in Japan. So without that conversation, does she still get skyrocketed up to the top that quickly?
I don't know, but it's. I don't think so, to be honest. If it wasn't like authentically relatable with a mass majority of society, I don't think it would have got as big as it is.
I don't think so either. I think
Yeah.
it would be another situation where we would be going, damn, this is a super, super fucking talented artist that's not getting the recognition that they deserve,
Exactly. Yep.
Yeah, it's clearly resonating with people. Like, you see a lot of the big music that has a huge message in it are like there's some kind of powerful frustration behind it, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And it
like
resonates with people.
just want to mention Mikoto's comment. In Japan, they're brought up to not share their true feelings. Part of the reason the song broke out so hard. Yep. Just going back to what we're saying, you know, it resonated right. And it's all about hitting that wave, you know? And I think,
again, a super traditional society. It's going to happen if you do that in a place like that.
For sure.
So, I also said, you know, Peter Hoth in the comments says, is it possible Otto remains anonymous because of the sensitive popular songs is against societal norms? And
I think so.
I did read up on that a little bit. And part of the reasoning was that she does not want to show her face because it was such a disruptive song that came out that, you know, part of it is safety.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Just make sure it's not going to fall on your way.
Yeah, I got a little worried there.
So
if this thing falls on me, I'm not going to make it.
So you guys remember that collab that happened with Hazuki, Lisa X, and singer Kotono? It is official. They are a band now, and it's called.
We moving on the news?
Yeah, Koi. Say it again.
We moving on the news?
Yeah.
News.
Yeah. Koi.
News time.
So the collab is now a band, and what do you guys think? Did you guys check out the cover?
Can you say the three members one more time?
So the three members are Kotono Hazuki from Nemophila, and then Lisa X.
And who's the first one? Do we know
Who's
her
the singer?
from something?
I haven't heard her.
Oh, no.
She sounds pretty good in this song. I gotta hear something like original though. To like, I do want to see something else by them. And they do have their own Twitter. We did add it to the Guys and Guys Discord. And by the way, just a little side note, I fixed the Guys and Guys Discord from all those pings and stuff happening. So that is now fixed. So you guys won't be getting thousands of pings on the Guys and Guys Discord. We fixed that issue. So just to give you guys a heads up on that. Because I know that was annoying.
So this is why
Kotono was with
X
Iron Bunny.
Oh, is she the one that danced with Baby Metal for a while?
I don't know. I don't think
Someone
so.
said that in my last live stream that one of the members of Iron Bunny had danced with Baby Metal in like 2017 or something.
Oh, Hadasio just said that in the comments, actually. Kotono was a dancer in Baby Metal in 2018, one of the first substitutes for Yui.
Kotono's vocals, Hazuki's guitar, and Lisa X's guitar.
Wow.
Yeah.
How do they have time to be in another band? I just don't understand.
When that's all you got to do.
Well, Hazuki is in Nemophila.
Because you don't have to go to a studio to do it, man.
Oh, true.
You can do all your shit at
I
home.
guess that's true. I mean, Nemophila is just getting back now, and Zuki's like, well, let's start something else.
She was with them before that. She's with
Yeah,
yeah, I know.
That.
But they started this band, I guess, like during the maternity thing, right? Like this was in the works for the last couple months, and now the maternity thing is like over, and now Nemophila is gonna be back, into a full-time schedule.
When you're
really
that good,
interesting.
not such a big deal, I guess.
What was the name of the band again? Kawaii?
Kawaii? Yeah. I think
The name of the band is Kawaii.
Kawaii.
Like
not
scary?
Not Kawaii, but Kawaii.
Kawaii.
I don't know.
This is really
Kawaii.
interesting though. Like
Kawaii.
this is why Lisa X band broke up pretty much. Like they swapped singers and now they're a
the
band.
singer left, so they got this singer, I think. That's what.
Well, yeah, okay. I mean, like generally they have a different singer, but it's the same band otherwise.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It'll be interesting to see if they flesh it out with a full-time bassist and drummer.
Okay, Koyai.
Kawaii.
Okay, cool.
All right. Have you guys been checking out the new anime Chainsaw Man or the songs from the endings and everything?
No, I have not.
I just did like number 8, I think, the ending.
That one's really good, and that's what we're going to talk about. So,
sweet.
number 8, TK is a centric theme. First Death elevates anime Chainsaw Man. I thought it's funny. I've heard a song by TK, and I did not like it at all. I pissed a lot of people off. I did not like his voice. But then I heard this song, and I fucking love it. It's like one of my favorite out of all of the Chainsaw Man endings. I highly recommend you guys check it out. It's called First Death, and it's an amazing song. It's ending 8. But what did you think, Wave, of the song? Curious your thoughts.
The guitar was freaking awesome.
Right?
Using the guitar to create electronic forms of like what you would typically associate electronic music with in the rhythms and the sounds and stuff, but played on a guitar.
Yeah.
And just ripping it up. It was so cool.
So TK is a famous artist over there, and I only checked out about two, like I guess just this song. I definitely want to check out more. So if you guys have any recommendations, like throw them in the comment section for them, because after that song, I really became a fan. And the thing is, he sounds completely different on the other song that I had heard. So that's why I was like kind of confused. And then when somebody put in my chat, they're like, it's funny that you love this song so much because you bashed the last song he put out. I'm like, well, I love this one. So it was just a weird vocal style that I was not into. But the music was great. I just didn't like the vocals.
It's like the difference between when Ryan was listening to Unlucky Morpheus and Doll's Box, right? And
Right.
Exactly.
Oh yeah.
But it's really cool that it has such a wide range, and he's not afraid to experiment, though. It's really, really awesome.
How Champ just got tiny.
Yeah,
Going into
Jesus
Jedi mode over there.
He's like, I'm done. The action and gore anime Chainsaw Man is a series that is interesting, features a different ending theme song for each episode, which episode 8 released last week. The appearance of TK from Ling Tosite Sigures, I don't know if I said that right, song First Death could finally be experienced. The song could later that day on November 30th could be picked up as a digital single, although the full physical CD release won't be available until December 21st. Now, they're talking about his CD being released, of course, on the 21st because
2 days before Love Bites.
Yes, 2 days before Love Bites. We got that nailed down. We'll put up a live stream thing so you guys set the notification or whatnot. But yeah, I forgot what I was gonna say now. Fast forward to today, we now have a music video for the song and we can experience it anew, but in a even flashier way, literally. So it is a very crazy video. I love this comment in the article. The seizure triggering video brings forth eccentric performance in all the best ways, keeping TK in motion at all times. It is a very trippy music video. I highly recommend people to check it out. It was a great song, but
Cool.
Sweet.
yeah.
Yeah, I highly recommend what he said.
Wait.
Huh?
Yeah, cool.
It's a cool song. I recommend you guys listen to it.
Yeah.
I'll listen to it once I finally get to Chainsaw Man reaction time.
Oh, sweet.
That's gonna be like fucking 5 years from now, dude.
2017.
I was trying to think of a futuristic date, and
And you said the date in the past.
Been watching Terminator lately.
Oh man, I thought this was an interesting article. It came out in August. Spotify announces Japan's most streamed artists, songs, and albums of 2022. What do you guys think it is? What do you think they streamed the most over there?
Musica. Musica.
Auto.
Auto.
Is it just auto?
No, you're wrong.
You're wrong.
You're wrong. Horribly wrong.
Is any of it
Show us.
rock at the top of the list?
No, it's not. And
It's J-pop, right?
This is shocking.
It's gotta be J-pop up there.
Nope, not even J-pop.
Sim. Oh wait, that's wrong.
No, so number
Right.
10, I have no clue who this is. Saucy Dog is top 10 most streamed artist. Number 9 is Twice.
Hey, a little K-pop in the world.
Yeah. Oh, and then number 8, King Nu, which I'm not sure what that is. Who that is?
I've watched them on my. That's kind of a like jazzy rock band.
Yeah.
Wait, so I gotta re-guess now that I saw that Twice was on. BTS is gonna be number 1. That's my new guess.
In Japan?
In Japan. In Japan.
You might be onto something there, champ. Number 7 is Back Number. Number 6 is Vondi, which Vondi has an awesome song for Chainsaw Man also, I gotta say. Really good. Number 5 is Yuri. Number 4 is Otto. So there's 3 other people that are streamed more than Otto. Can you believe that?
No.
I can't. I'm
No.
trying to think of like who else could possibly. Or before you get to the top three, do we know these three artists?
You do. You do know one of them for sure. 100%.
I want to know if we know all three of them.
I don't know if you guys know all three because I
Okay.
don't. I only know one of them also. And number 3 is Yasobi, which is Yoasobi.
I think
And
I've watched them on a live stream too.
this band I just discovered, and I can't remember where. I literally just watched the song, and it's official Hige Dandism is number 2.
Okay, I watched them too. Wow.
Yeah. I can't remember where I've seen it. I might have
Live
seen it
stream
on
people.
Wave Stream then. I probably saw it on Wave Stream.
Yeah. I remember having a heck of a time pronouncing that.
Yasobi is
I've never
pop.
heard of either of these.
And number 1 is BTS.
Yeah, makes sense. I wonder if we did America, if it would be BTS too. Honestly, like it might be BTS in like a bunch of countries.
I don't know. But it's funny though, because then when you go to most streamed albums, like BTS is at number 9 with Love Yourself.
And that's not their last album. Oh wait, is it?
yeah. And then the most streamed album, Otto comes in
Might
at
be.
2 with Uta, One Piece Film Red. So that was interesting.
That's what top music is on.
Yeah. Well, here's the top, the most streamed albums right here, and it falls in line with what the most streamed are, and most streamed songs, and then here is the
Saucy
top
dog.
10 most streamed artists in Japan.
Huh, cool. Saucy Dog.
Saucy Dog.
That's
That's
just a
interesting.
great name.
What do you think Saucy Dog sounds like? Would you guys have any guesses?
Like ketchup.
And-
All right.
Think you're onto it.
So we got to follow up to the Ticketmaster thing. Musicians telling the truth about Ticketmaster. And
talking about Ticketmaster.
are you guys sick of Ticketmaster? I hope not, because we're about to talk about it.
I'm curious.
We
So,
gotta tie a bow
this
on
is
this whole thing.
Musicians telling the truth about Ticketmaster. This is actually going to harp back to what Ryan was saying, what we were all saying is very interesting. So let's go ahead and let this play. So here's Loudwire video. Just let me know when to pause, guys.
Pearl Jam played Capitol Hill on Thursday as guitarist Stone Gossard and bassist Jeff.
Dude, you see how old that
Is
video
this
is?
from 1984? What's going on?
That's 1990s
90s
right there. So this
Pearl
is
Jam, man, it wasn't
this is the Pearl Jam news article
Potato
from
Vision.
92.
Jeff Ammett were at the House of Representatives to begin 3 hours of testimony about Ticketmaster. Pearl Jam has accused.
Look at them in the court.
Let it,
It's like Justin Bieber.
That's Jeff
I was
Emmett.
like, well, this is why they lost.
But yeah, he speaks though. They are smiling. I was like, yeah, okay.
Oh man.
I can't imagine going to court with a backwards hat and a bandana on. And I wear that shit every day. But like, I feel like you're asking to
Put
lose
on
your
a
court.
suit.
You're
Look at
asking
the
to
suits behind them, though.
lose.
They're all
What?
fucking smiling.
Dude,
They probably picked like a funny moment, but they actually make some sense. when
They're
they talk.
geeking out.
no, they're like, oh, these fools are definitely losing.
Yeah, I feel like
Play
that's
this Twitter
what
video
they're
because I watched this already.
Ticketmaster of being a monopoly and of using its power to scuttle a summer tour the band had planned.
Congress or
with tickets
court,
to
same
sell
thing.
for a relatively low $18.
It is well known in our
The
industry
government.
that some portion of the service charges Ticketmaster collects on its sale of tickets is distributed back to the promoters in the venues. It is this incestuous relationship and the lack of any national competition for Ticketmaster that has created the situation we're dealing with today. As a result, our band, which is concerned about keeping the price of its tickets low, will almost always be in conflict with Ticketmaster, which has every incentive to try to find ways to increase the price of the ticket it sells.
You've decided to nail.
So so it's pretty cool to see that flashback right there of them reporting in front of Congress and everything.
Wow. So right
They-
from the
they-
start.
Yeah, and Pearl Jam tried and they failed inevitably. They couldn't survive as a band without fucking kneeling down to the damn Live Nation.
So yeah, like there's no way, because when you fight like a corporation like that or whatever, they can keep you in this battle for as long as they want to.
You will run out of money before they will.
Exactly.
That's the only
They
way
get
they're gonna
the
win.
court costs, well, or
Yeah.
whatever it costs to hire
lawyers.
lawyers
need
and stuff
lawyers
like
for
that.
court,
Yeah.
whatever.
It's they could keep postponing and stuff. It could go on for years and years, and your money will just get drained before theirs will.
Hell
Yeah.
They'll out money you.
Yep.
Exactly.
They know when they're wrong. Everybody knows they're wrong, but they can afford to prolong shit until it's just useless, and they'll fucking get away with it.
Yeah.
Yep. It's a corporate society for you. That's how it works here.
Fuck yeah.
Your mask to a flat fee of $20 and $4 a beer for 12-ounce guzzle of beer. Why are you doing it? And what do you hope to achieve?
It's gotten out of hand. The price of concerts, the price of entertainment, period. I went with Live Nation. I said, how can we just go in and take everything, the beer, the parking, whatever the price of tickets are, and put it in a pot, split it up fairly based on the number of people that come, and they're like, you're going to have to take a pay cut. No problem. I make a lot of money. I can take a pay cut. I'm going to tell people a lot of...
Dude, when I saw that, I was like, I have like just so much respect for him. I don't know. Like after seeing it, I'm like, wow, this is, you know.
Respect that comment.
Yeah, 100%.
Cares about the fan experience.
Why do you guys hate Kid Rock so much? I'm just curious. What is it?
I'm
what is
curious
it?
too.
I want to know why. Because I remember watching like the behind the artist. Remember they used to do that
to Kid Rock
on VH1.
Music?
Yeah, but like he
at all.
I actually don't mind his music.
I don't mind his music either, but he explains. I watched the behind the music thing with him. You remember when that was a thing on like VH1 and stuff? And,
of course.
And his story was so fascinating, and he talks about like what the lyrics are about and stuff, and why he just like projected it. Don't get me wrong, Cocky is a bad album. I only like one album by Kid Rock, and that was Devil Without a Cause. That's my favorite one, because it's cool to hear how he was just like struggling at that time, and he got famous after the fact. So he had that album out for like I think 7 years before he actually got Devil Without a Cause like on MTV, and then he blew up. So the album was already released for a while, but he just kept grinding and grinding to get it done. And they did a whole thing about. So I've always had like respect for Kid Rock, but I can.
It's kind of inspiring.
It was inspiring, yeah. As a teenager seeing that, I was like probably like what 13 I think or something when I was watching that. Like, oh okay, cool, because like he kept trying. He was kind of late to the game. So to say,
what he's done in the music industry, I have no issue with whatsoever. It's more just over the last like 5 years or so, some of the stuff that he says can grate on me.
What he says in the songs, or like in person? Are you talking about like
in person? Well, he's gotten really, really political over the last like half a decade. So he's like super. Yeah, he's just super political about stuff. Like he can't shut up about it. So
I'm
like,
talking about music,
regardless of if you feel one way or the other way or somewhere in the middle, either way, whenever somebody's just like that in your face about it, it starts to grind on me a little.
You guys are
this is why I say ignorance is bliss. I like music that I can't understand.
I'm only talking about his. Okay. Let me rephrase what I said. I'm only talking about him as on the musical side. I didn't like everyone's talking about the politics. I did not know this, and I didn't pay attention to that.
Well, and you don't have to. You honestly don't have to. I mean, like I just happen to know that. You know what I mean? But like, I still like his music. Cowboy's a banger.
Ryan, I'm curious. So what did he say? I want to know what he said now. Now I'm curious. So.
Well, okay. He's somehow become like a Southern rebel icon when he's from the suburbs of fucking Michigan, dude. Like he didn't grow up in a fucking trailer park. He chose to have a hard life. His family was well off. He didn't come from the fucking South, from the hills or some shit.
Yeah, they're middle class.
This is just a character he fucking plays, and he plays it well. And he, what he said in that little interview there, that's fucking cool, man. Make it cheaper for your fans. But he's just a bullshit artist, and he's excelling. That's all.
Okay,
that's all. I just don't. Fuck that guy.
See, when I saw the VH1 thing, it was a completely different thing. Like he was middle class, and he was talking about how he was well off. So when he was trying to do the music and stuff, he was just looked down upon since he was doing okay. And then he got himself into shitty situations where he had kids young, and he kind of created his hell pretty much. Like he was in a good situation, and he made his situation worse. And then now he's like trying to dig it out. That was in the beginning though. Like that's what I'm talking about. I'm talking about those stories like when he first started. But I don't know.
As far as recently, yeah, there's just a bunch of nonsense I really do not agree with, and I'm just tired of hearing it. So
I don't follow any of that new stuff. That's why I was curious. I'm curious now. Like, what the fuck did he say?
I'm a rebel country guy. No.
Here, you want one quick example, Alan, just for the sake of it?
Yeah.
there was like a show last year where he like started dropping the F-bomb, and not the F-bomb that's the one that we drop all the time, the homophobic one. So people were like right off the bat not super happy about him doing stuff like that.
Gotcha.
Was he talking about cigarettes?
No, because he added the GOT onto the end of it, so I don't think so.
Yeah.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah, didn't know about any of that. But then again,
That's
I also
why I was on Piers Morgan and not something else.
And why do you hate Piers Morgan? I don't know. I'm curious. I don't like him because of the way he delivers himself. He seems like stuck up, but I'm curious why you don't like him, Ryan.
Let's keep this about.
Oh, okay. Never mind. Okay.
Yeah, this is
beyond that.
We're getting on sketchy territory right now.
Okay, never mind. All right, let's keep this going.
Artists already do it. I think I've been guilty of it in the past too. We take some of our tickets, we put them on StubHub, overcharge. Look what the market determines they're worth. I'm charging. I'm taking 1,000 of them and I'm scalping them.
There were definitely times where certain surcharges were added, like Ticketmaster.
That's crazy that he admitted that, though.
Yeah.
That's fucking wild.
Really opened up a seriously confusing array of ways to rip
He's
off
dude from
fans.
Fugazi.
Yeah.
Never mind the insanity of the charges they put on for the fans. But for instance, most venues will charge a Ticketmaster charge at the window when technically they're not supposed to, but it's a sort of allowed. It's like sort of a little cream for the venue. So if you buy it in advance, you pay a service charge. You buy it at the show, you shouldn't have to pay anything more than the face value. But Ticketmaster kind of says like, well, it's okay. You can do that. 1993, we were playing really big venues, and we played in Kansas City. I put a sign up on the window of the front of the hall that said, people, there will be $1 extra charge on your ticket. Fugazi apologizes for the inconvenience. However, Fugazi does not apologize for Ticketmaster or the people who run this hall. And I put that in the window. And of course, they found that to be, yeah.
Wow. They fucking did that to them? That's crazy. Oh, that's crazy. So
I'm a little confused about what I just heard. Can you guys dumb it down for me?
He said they were playing. Okay, so you got the tickets and the venue are basically owned by the same outfit. So there would be an extra surcharge if you bought online, or not online. If you ordered your ticket, there would be a surcharge for a fee for that. But he's saying at the venue there was also like an additional charge for no fucking reason, which they weren't supposed to do. But Live Nation's like, yeah, well, go ahead and do it because they're going to get the money anyway. Yeah.
And then he said
they put a sign up.
Go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, they put a sign up. Hey, sorry guys, your ticket's going to cost an extra $1, but it wasn't our choice. But we apologize for it, but we do not apologize for Ticketmaster for making the call, for adding that. So yeah, it's.
And then they sent him to prison.
Yeah.
The orange shirt.
Anyway, a Democratic US lawmaker also criticized the company Ticketmaster. Ticketmaster's excessive wait times and fees are completely unacceptable, as seen with today's Taylor Swift tickets. David Cicilline wrote on Twitter. He added that the 2010 merger of Ticketmaster and Live Nation, which had Justice Department approval, should not have been allowed. It's no secret that Live Nation stroke Ticketmaster is an unchecked monopoly. He said. That wasn't me saying that. Oh my God. I would never cast such... but, you know, he said it. He's an expert. So a few bands used to make all the money, and then it would go like this. There'd be a little bit of money for millions of other bands. And then with the advent of streaming and the internet and all this stuff and all this new music and new and fresh ways to connect with your audience, the idea was that Longtail was supposed to do this. So there'd be a more even distribution of the wealth among the sort of top earning bands. But that's not what happened. Harry Styles, Taylor Swift, poof, and then 1 billion bands releasing 100,000 songs every day on the various streaming platforms, making no money whatsoever. And it's happening in the music trade on the live front as well.
What do you think of artists who...
That's crazy.
So what he was giving an example with his hand where he'd have like his hand at the top and he's emulating a graph for those who are just listening. And it's supposed to, like, he had artists making a lot of money and then a little bit of money left for the rest of the artists. And then it became the idea of streaming and everything, would you'd have artists, like the top artists, making a shitload of money, and then it would kind of slope down so the other artists had a little more money. But instead, it went the other way. Like Spotify, if you don't know this, if all you do is stream, like for me, for instance, I stream Bandmade all fucking day, right? Well, my money that I pay into Spotify doesn't go to Bandmade. It goes to the highest percentage goes to fucking whoever's the Harry Styles and Taylor Swift.
Yeah.
What?
And it gets it goes into a pool, and the percentage relative listening, whoever's listening to the most, they get the percentage of all the money.
What? Did not know
dude.
that.
You don't just support your band, you're supporting the most popular band, whether you fucking
So you're better off buying the CDs and
that's why I always buy the CDs of new bands I like.
I'm so happy I do that.
That's crazy. I had no idea that's how that was
you
working.
can stream nothing but one band all the time, and they're not getting
your subscription fee.
It's a little bit extra work, guys, but I'm telling you, just what I do is I just grab the CD player here, and then I just rip the CD onto it, and then you can still put it on your iPhone. You just can't sync it with the iPlaylist, but to me, it's just worth it, right? Get the CD, put it in here, rip it on there, and then you're at least listening to them.
It still plays for the band. I mean, they're not like not counting your plays, but the money that they don't know they don't single out what you're listening to is what I'm saying. It all goes into a pool, and whoever gets played the most is still getting it,
Now, who brought attention to that though? Like who said that? Like, where's that stated? Like, on how I'm curious. I would be curious to see how that's listed. The only reason why I'm asking, because when I look at my Spotify listeners, I can see how many plays I have.
Yeah, no, your plays get counted as plays for that band,
but I only get 0.01% or something for each play, which is
if I understand, it's like. So let me just try to say what you were just saying, just for my own head here, Ryan. Yeah. So basically, it's like there's a giant fishbowl, and every time you listen to anything, money gets put into that fishbowl, and then, like, let's say at the end of the year or whatever, they tally how much plays have been for each particular artist and divvy it up percentage wise out of that pool of money that was put into there. So you're not directly giving money to that band, but your plays do up their percentage when they get paid out, right?
That
would seem more fair if it was like that, but I think Ryan,
I think it's like if you're supporting all the artists. You're a part of supporting all the artists on Spotify, even if you're only intentionally supporting one. Mm-hmm. Like, you have a choice where your money goes to whoever. It's all going to go. It's not like they're unfairly getting. It's weird because every time it's like you're trying to explain it, it's like, well, it's not really so bad. But it's like, even though I don't listen to Taylor Swift at fucking all, she's getting some of my money. You know what I mean? But you're all supporting her at all, but I'm still supporting her because I use fucking Spotify.
I do have an article here. Let's see if this sheds any light on. So, how do Spotify royalties work? Spotify payments explained for musicians. So, the Swedish audio streaming platform Spotify is one of the world's most important players. Let's see how does streaming services like this work.
I know how to say it now.
Say
I'll do this real quick. I have like 15 listeners a month. That's fucking it. And a percentage of their money is going to Taylor Swift. You know what I mean? It is not all coming to me.
So basically the total amount of money that they'll pay out is based on a percentage of your subscription fee. That's all set, how much they're going to pay out, but then it's split by percentage based on who gets listened to the most.
Okay, what if I have a million streams? Does that raise my rate up? You know, that's what I want to know. Like,
I would wonder,
are there tiers?
So my question would be, are they reevaluating based on how much playtime that thing got during that course of the contract or during the year or whatever? Or is a set amount of money that's going to these bands, like, that was negotiated prior to that year, and then it gets renegotiated if the band does well that year? That's a big differentiating factor, I think.
This is what I was told by Spotify, like for Spotify underneath CD Baby, the publishing. So as a rights holder, you get between 0.003 and 0.005 per stream. But I have to believe that I have a feeling there's special deals because, you know, like Joe Rogan, who got specifically signed to Spotify, right? Yeah. He's getting paid somehow, right?
Yes, exclusivity contracts definitely exist, and they also try to buy certain parts of discographies from people.
Yeah, so Taylor Swift might have an exclusivity.
They paid him a lump sum.
But that's for them to own it, and he's not going to get anything out of that anymore, right? Like he sold that. It no longer belongs to him anymore.
So he probably doesn't get paid for the streams themselves anymore.
He might get no royalties if that's the case. If you're going to sell something, unless it's part of the contract that you demand that you get the money from the sale plus royalties going forward.
It just goes back to what Ryan was saying, though. Like the smaller artists are going to get screwed because they're going to prioritize these bigger artists. Because I doubt that Joe Rogan is just getting just that one lump sum. I'm sure there's something else on the back end of that contract. I'd have to look it up.
I wonder if there's probably like a basic contract that everybody gets, and then there's like, you know, the big artists are able to negotiate the contract to change it into something a little bit different.
Hey, thanks Jim Morrison for the $5. We really appreciate it, man. He says send a super chat with no cuss words, like, sub, share, and get a shirt. Thank you, man. I appreciate that. Thank you so much, man.
Thanks so much.
And by the way, speaking of
easy way to help out, man.
Yeah, and then, you know, Guys and Guys merch store sponsors this podcast because we make them do that. Anyways, but I'm gonna do some digging on this, do some research for the next Sunday, and we'll see what I find over this, because I'm actually.
Hey, what contract did you have to sign when you put us on Spotify, Alan? What happened? Like, so, you did it for us.
Who reads that?
Here's the thing. No, let me tell you guys. So this is what happens. So you have to have a publisher, and the publisher is a representation for you, and they're the ones who negotiate all that. So you technically don't even see those damn contracts because they have the contracts with Spotify. We don't get paid for streams for our podcasts. We have to pay to put our podcasts on those streaming services so we can reach the audience. So if you guys stream the podcast from there, it does help us out a lot because that means we could get sponsors in the future, but that's it. We don't make a damn penny from podcasts on.
Isn't it like $20 a month to host it over there?
Yeah. So we pay $24.
So you'll never recover that money from streaming on Spotify.
Yeah. So we pay $24 a month, but like this month we're going to spend $40 because we did a lot more interviews. So we have to pay them $40 to host it. Now, at the same merit, we use Buzzsprout, which is a really good company because they offer us affiliate program with them. So if you guys want to start a podcast, you can hit the affiliate link in our description. But they will get us sponsors where I don't have to do that extra work. So I like that benefit of not worrying about trying to find sponsors that fit the podcast. They just come to us. But that's why we have our own merch store to sponsor us, because it's better just to have our own things that we do, because Ryan is a great artist and can design amazing merch for us, and it works out well, you know?
So does Buzzsprout own those? Do they own those sponsorships? They have deals with those sponsorships?
That's what's so fucked up, but it's the game. I pay so they don't own it. So we do own it, but that's why we're paying. So those free podcast hosts, keep in mind, the reason why they're free is because they own your shit. And that's why you don't go for the free ones. So keep that in mind. If you go for the free podcast stuff, yeah, it's great. It's free, but they own your podcast. It's kind of like Twitch. There's a caveat for Twitch. Like when you sign that agreement, they technically own your content. And I wish I knew that, because I would have never signed that partnership thing. Because technically they own everything. Your logo, your label, if you read it, it says it in the print that they own all that stuff. So when I was doing the double stream back in the day, they're like, they're going to take down your Twitch. I'm like, go for it, because then they won't own my shit, you know? So that's why I have decided not to start a Guys and Guys Twitch, because of that specific thing. Well, we could start it. We just we won't be able to take subs or take money or anything like that.
Right. So. I do wonder like what the difference would be now between like a Spotify and how they do their stuff with the contracts and stuff like that. And then like YouTube Music, who, for example, like you get YouTube views regularly, right?
Yeah.
But if you're on YouTube Music, do you have to do something different, or is everybody that's on YouTube just automatically onto YouTube Music?
Okay, so YouTube Music and the YouTube music videos, a publisher still collects it. So if you're doing it through CD Baby and you just upload the music video, but you don't hit the check mark to share it to YouTube Music, it will still count as a normal royalty. So what I found out though is the AdSense from YouTube is different than what CD Baby takes away. And I hate to say this, but it's actually better just to release your song with a music video and not do it through a publisher, because you'll make more money through the YouTube AdSense program than the actual CD Baby publishing. Yeah. So for example,
then you're the publisher instead of someone else.
Exactly. And you're not relying on someone else. So the problem is we're relying on secondary services, which is great and stuff. It makes it for us you know, that don't have millions of dollars to release shit, it's helpful, but on the back end it sucks because they do take a huge chunk of that. Because I was looking at the difference.
We're doing the Ticketmaster thing just with YouTube stuff.
You know what I hate about
for
distributing
example,
through a third party is they block all comments. Like comments are disabled. No one can have a conversation under your video. It kills the ability for it to have any type of growth or performance because they don't let people talk about it in the comments.
Yeah. And it's funny thing is when I send an email to CD Baby, for example, I'm like, hey, can you not copyright my song on my actual channel? It took them 7 months, guys. So 7 months to fucking release it, and which is just bullshit because they collected all the money from the beginning of the release. So I only made like $50 off of my last single, which was Phoenix, and I know it would have been at least $150 from the streaming because it was like almost 35,000 on YouTube. It has a lot of streams on Spotify. So yeah, I lost probably like half my income on that song.
And no retroactive payments, huh? So it's like they can take as long as they want because they know that when they finally give it over to you, that's when their
why
money
Patreon
stops.
is so important to a certain extent, especially if you're grandfathered in.
That's why I stopped using CD Baby.
I mean,
so you're saying it's better just to do your shit through YouTube and not use.
Essentially, yeah.
Don't use secondary
here's
programs.
The thing.
Don't use them to publish to YouTube. Use them to distribute everywhere else except YouTube.
Exactly.
But once you publish it through them, if you put that song on YouTube, whether you play it live or not, it's going to get fucking.
Yep.
Sometimes
copyrighted.
Sometimes they'll do that. I think it's better to, like what Wave said, is don't use it through YouTube, but Orion's right, is if you do have the music published worldwide, they can go in there and copyright it anyways, but you can get it removed because you obviously are the person that did it. They just take forever to do it. Here's the problem though. CD Baby, what they're good at, this is the one thing they're really good with, is they're good at collecting all your royalties. You got to give it to them there because if somebody uses it in their intro stinger, bam, you get money. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So see, there's it's very conflicting. It's the whole balance thing that we're talking about earlier. All this is just a balancing act. And it's like, oh, well, if you do this, you're giving up this. If you give up this, then this is going to happen. You can't win.
You guys, we got to acknowledge these. Holy crap.
Makaluku.
Goya as well.
Thank you so much for the gifted memberships.
But yeah, in case you guys didn't know, you can gift memberships like Makaluku just did right here. He gifted out 5 Guys and Guys channel memberships, which you can do. If you're a channel member and you just want to hook other people up, make them a channel member, you could do that. It's cool.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Thanks, man.
Thanks. Yeah, that's awesome. Thank you so much for that. But I need to turn off the sound effects. Sorry. It keeps going off.
I like them. It makes me feel magical. And
but when you have 5 in a row.
At least it's a nice, beautiful sound.
Yeah, it's not like...
I like mine that's like...
But anyways, but that's the whole financial side of things when it comes to that. It's like I said, it's a lot of give and take. You know, but it's unfortunately the corporation on top that are going to take the most, you know, unless you.
Yeah, definitely.
That's what it is.
We're screwed.
It is, you know.
Mute that. I like that sound.
We don't have any more options.
Okay, but anyways, back to this this video. We have Kurt Cobain talking about. We were doing this. Yeah, we got off on a tangent there. Guys, let me know in the comments section on YouTube if you're listening from Spotify or anything. Go on YouTube. Let me know if you guys want us to do a deep dive on this, and I'll definitely do that, and we'll talk about it on the next. It's gonna be Sunday.
A long podcast.
Yeah,
well, I think they cut off Kurt here. I've seen this video, but I know what the context is. See what they have.
All right.
You charge anywhere between $50 to $75 for tickets.
There are people who charges that much money.
We charge $17.
So what?
Fugazi's playing tonight. They're charging $5.
$6.
So how does that make you feel?
Weak.
Exploited.
Yeah. See, they go from 5 to 6 to 7 to 8. Pretty soon.
Look at that baby face.
Well, there's inflation.
What with the Ticketmaster charge and.
Posting on his Twitter, M Shadows took on the subject of dynamic pricing, tweeting, "If you think tickets..."
Sorry.
they were talking to Nirvana about the ticket costs, and they were saying Madonna charges $50, and Kurt's like, they charge $50 for tickets. That's like outrageous. Like he couldn't believe people were paying that much, and people were charging that much for tickets. Now I got motherfuckers that are Bruce Springsteen tickets going for $5,000 because of their dynamic pricing bullshit.
Yeah, I understand to an extent, like with the inflation, because the dollar was worth a lot more back then.
Well, I actually have the answer to that real quick. Like the inflation value of what the $17 was then would be $38 today. Wow. So even today, it would be really cheap to get a ticket for their show.
Wow,
somebody's saying
this is cool seeing Kurt be like, they're charging $50 for a ticket. That's outrageous, man.
In shock.
And then they realize it. They were disappointed themselves because Fugazi charging $5, and they're like, they love Fugazi. Yeah. Kurt, that's one of the bands he listened to, and they're like, oh, that makes us feel weak because we're charging $17 like it was too much.
That's insane. And back then, that's a lot of money, man. That's like the equivalent like $200.
Yeah, but that was what, 92? And Dave Grohl's like, yeah, well, they got the Ticketmaster charge. Like, they knew it was all bullshit.
That is just freaking insane.
Master sets the price of tickets. You're wrong. The artist does. If the supply is 52 stadiums, but the demand is 900, you don't automatically deserve a ticket because you're a fan. Demand exceeded supply. Per dynamic pricing, artists have watched front row tickets go for 10, 20 times face value from scalpers, but see none of the upside. Ask yourself, is that fair? It may suck, but is it fair? Leave it to grandstanding politicians to get involved in something they know nothing about, and leave it to artists to shrug their shoulders and point the blame.
Ooh, what do you guys think about that comment?
I agree with it to an extent, honestly. Like every time we talk about this, I keep thinking the supply and demand thing exists and we can't just pretend that it doesn't.
Yeah.
It's really hard to ignore that. Ethically, it feels shady. It does, but it is how our, sort of our society just works around money and stuff like that.
Yeah, I can see the point with that, because if what the statement was saying is like scalpers would buy the tickets and sell them for way more, and the band gets nothing. If they can have the same situation, well, it's not even the dynamic pricing is if there's more demand for it, they will jack up the price because people will pay it. And they're saying, well, why shouldn't we get the money? Which, I kind of agree with. But I guess it's up to the band to say, we don't want exclusivity. We don't want only people that are well off to come see us if most of our people listen to us aren't well off. Most people can't afford $4,000 for a ticket, but so what happens when that demand is there? That means there's a limited amount of people that can afford it that are willing to pay it. Which it's great for the band, but that means there's a whole lot of people that are just not going to see him.
Well, again, I think M Shadow's response to this is kind of a deflection and off topic, because the real problem that people have is with the extra fees that Ticketmaster's charging.
Yeah.
And that Ticketmaster's taking so much from the artists and fans. It's not what the base price was. And the other problem is that they allow scalpers. They allow people to buy. I think they're working at you have to verify your email for a lot of stuff. And that you're a fan, but still they allow people to buy tickets in bulk and then resell them.
That's what Kid Rock mentioned. He's like, well, hey, we've bought tickets and then resold them at a higher price. I don't think a lot of people mention it, but that's not the only person I've seen mention that. It's been mentioned other places too, that it's not. So that's where it gets shady. If it's just people want demand and they can charge more, cool. But like you're saying, it's just, there's the fees and bullshit that it's all going back to one entity.
I think about the Bandmade shows that we were just at, right? And I think they were pretty reasonably priced just in general. They had to go through Live Nation, right? I bought my tickets off Live Nation. It wasn't too bad, but the thing that kind of stuck with me was that on the final day, of the New Jersey show, you could buy those tickets for $17, back at the $17 mark, right? So that was an available option after the tickets had already been priced much higher for the show, and the show was coming up, and they just wanted to sell as much as they could after the higher tier people were able to afford those. So is that a bad thing? Because that's just like if you're a huge band those tickets are going to sell out at that higher price, right? But if you're not as huge of a band, then you might not sell all those huge price tickets, and you might have to lower the prices at the end.
It's like a clearance sale.
Yeah. So like, is it an issue just because BandMaid is not the size of Taylor Swift, or would it not be an issue at all for them? You know, because I kind of feel like if they were a higher, their ticket prices only dropped, and I love BandMaid. This is not a criticism of them or anything, but if their ticket prices, if they had sold everything at like the $100, $150 mark, I don't think they ever would have dropped any tickets down to $17 just to try to get them off, right? So that to me is just like a smaller example of supply and demand right there, and how you would like handle a situation like that from a smaller band standpoint.
That's interesting.
I mean, it's different. I feel like when it's lowering the price, you know?
Yeah.
Well, like, yeah, but I'm saying if they were going to sell them at $17, it could have been $17 the whole time, right?
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, if that venue would have been there from the start, I don't think they would have had that problem. But they had already they already had surrounding venues that were damn near sold out, and then they opened up the biggest venue. So I understand your point though. Like if they would have started out with that price where they've sold them, I don't know. You know, well, maybe. But most people that were going to go to that show were already going to 2 other concerts that were
balancing act
area.
Like maybe the $17 was their break even.
Could be.
Like they got to make something, because everyone's got to make a living to have time to make music, you know?
I guess I'm just thinking, where do you draw the line, right? Because if there was a huge band doing the same thing, and all of their tickets were higher priced in the beginning and then they lowered them, would we feel a similar way? Or is it just because they're a smaller band that we give them more leniency in the area of they could have sold the tickets at $17, but they sold the tickets at $150?
Mikoto brought up a good point. I forgot about this. He said, yes, champ, because Live Nation and their own bots caused the tickets to drop prices and left the venues partially empty since it didn't get available until the last minute.
You're saying the bots did that? That was not a choice. There was no manual choice to lower the ticket prices.
Dynamic pricing controlled.
Yeah. So it lowered it because there wasn't demand.
Autonomously by Ticketmaster.
I guess I don't know. He comes down to the band.
They have to have
Bruce Springsteen. He wants to get as much money as he can for doing what he does. So fuck yeah, give me $5,000 tickets. But if you're a band that wants to get as many people as you can to see your shows, you limit what it can be. I don't know. But if I don't know, man, who knows? Because I'm not a part of a fucking band that's touring. If your label's like, no, we're going to do this pricing because we can get more fucking money, you know, you're going to be arguing with the people that are, you know, kind of helping you have your career. Like, no, fuck that. I want these people to be able to go. And so you're fighting for less money. It becomes a conflict, man.
I mean, they could do the ops. What did Kid Rock say? That he actually bought tickets and then sold them at a higher price at some point, right? Like,
well, he had to take a pay cut to keep the prices even.
He said in the past he was guilty of doing that.
He took a pay cut.
So you could technically, if you're a band, you could technically buy a bulk amount of tickets. Like if you think, and then you could sell them for lower. You could sell them for less if you really want to. If you can do the math and say, I'm still going to make money off these people. Kid Rock could go out there, buy 1,000 tickets to his show and sell them for half the price if he knows that he's already making more off of the Live Nation stuff that's going on, because they're pricing the rest of it higher.
Yeah. And so balancing that, guys, it's like this just goes back to the theme of this podcast. It's just all about keeping everything balanced. And right now what's happening is going out of balance. Like it's going way too far to the corporate side where it's just fucking over everyone, and now it's coming to a head, and it's very apparent. And it started back in the 90s, and now it's just gotten ridiculous.
Yeah,
you know,
that's the crazy part, is those huge bands were calling it out right from the start.
Yeah,
and it's still been allowed to be what it is now.
Yeah.
I just guess people didn't care back then. I don't know.
It's a shame. It's been monopolized.
Make the fucking rules, then rich people are going to benefit.
Yeah, and it's always going to be like that. Like, and it'll keep happening like that, and not just in the music industry. In every industry where they can get, look at Disney, right? Like Disney owns practically everything now, and they're going to set their own rules. Anybody that's trying to come up on Disney, look, he's rocking a Disney cup right now. Anybody that's trying to come up in Disney, they can be thwarted by Disney, you know, and prevented from getting to that point. Also.
Okay, here's the other thing. Disney's a monopoly too, by this definition.
Yes, they are.
Look at all of the massive franchises that are pretty much the only thing in theaters besides, you know, people who really have to stick their necks out to get.
Yeah, Wayne, because I want my stock to go up.
Everything's owned by Disney now.
No, I was adding to what you're saying. I was saying, yeah, because I want my stock to go up. Damn it! So they need to acquire more businesses so I can make more money because I hold 100 shares in Disney and I want to go further up.
I'm so sorry to hear that.
Oh, but it's so true.
So they need to buy all the corporations.
Point.
No, you know what? And I'm guilty of this because I day traded. I remember when I owned the Disney stock, I made a lot of money from it because I was like, fuck yeah, they're buying Marvel. Let me buy more Disney before that purchase goes through because they're going to get it. So I was that asshole, like, hoping, like, yes. And then I realized, though, this is actually fucked up. I was like, because now I'm part of the system. I'm part of the whole corporate side of things. Right. And I was like, oh, fuck. I was like, yeah, it's nice to made 10K, but now we have shitty Marvel movies now. So I guess that was a horrible sacrifice, right?
The Marvel movies are awesome. And if people think that they're shitty, I no longer trust their opinion.
The newer ones suck. Sorry. I don't care.
Whoops,
the new ones are shitty. Yeah.
The what ones?
I think the newer movies.
This is exactly what we were talking about earlier. The alternate opinions. When one company owns everything, there can only be one opinion, and it silences the voices of the people who have a problem with it.
Yeah, this is better than that. Well, they're the same company. Fucking Nintendo and Sega owned by the same fucking company, dude.
They are,
and Disney owns Rotten Tomatoes.
But so there's this big competition. This big competition between these two. This one's better. This one's better. And they're like, I don't give a fuck which one he thinks better because we're all getting the money.
That's right. Dude, it reminds me of
argue all you want.
I'm taking it back to wrestling, but it reminds me of like WWE has Raw and SmackDown. They're two shows, and they make them compete against each other every year. And it's like, dude, these are your own fucking shows. Nobody cares who wins.
Raking it in, dude.
Yeah, you own both of them.
Yeah, when Star Wars is competing with Marvel,
yeah,
Disney wins.
I know. Yeah, they must.
That's why you acquire everything.
I mean, but as like I said, I was a stockholder of Disney, and I remember being excited about that because I was like, oh, fuck, I know about this inside thing they're going to be doing. I felt like that. All the investors,
back when being
right?
a Marvel fan was like a nerdy thing.
And I was like,
in the zeitgeist.
Yes.
it's just a crazy thing to think about. You know, I had to get out of that because gets very toxic, and you definitely your mind starts warping if you get too much of that side of things. I think you need to understand all of it. It goes back to the balance side of things. You need to have a balance of everything. You need to understand what's going on. You need to be aware that it's there. How you got to use it responsibly, I guess.
But yeah, don't be consumed by it.
Don't be
exactly. Do you guys know?
Break your brain.
Don't be
consumed. Do you guys know if Live
it.
Nation is a publicly traded company?
Yes, it definitely is.
Okay,
it should be.
So
I think it is.
I mean, if Live Nation is a publicly traded company,
let me check.
Everybody has the ability to invest in the company, right?
Yes,
and this is taking it a step further, but it does allow for the opportunity for people that are not making direct money off of Live Nation, even the bands that use them, to invest in the company and make other money from a different source from the same company, right? So like when things become publicly traded, it's different than it just being a private organization that you cannot get any money out of, right?
It's on the New York Stock Exchange, and it's LYV. So yeah, it is a publicly traded company.
So it does provide you with the option to be a part of the money making scheme with them, which I mean it's hard for me to like hate on it completely because of that. I think monopolies are bad, and I think the government should shut them down.
But think about it like this, champ. Think about it like this. So I was just talking about with someone the other day. How many people actually buy stocks and invest because they're scared to not do it? And I've always I remember when I was into it, I used to try to convince people like, don't be scared of it. Like, do it, because this is how rich people get rich, is because they keep buying shit and holding on to it like stocks, so they can demand companies to go higher. So that's where you get this. But like Wade was saying, you get consumed by it too at the same time, because it is scary, because when you see that dip, people sell, and they always do this through the news. They always scare people out of stocks. They always do it every time, so the rich people can come in there, buy for cheap, and then everybody sees it go up, and then they all buy into it. And then that's why the rich people hope for them to acquire other businesses, because they're like, if they acquire more businesses, means more value for the stock, meaning I'm going to make more money. So even when I say rich people, I'm talking about like the people that are only making maybe $800K a year. That's still a lot of fucking money. So they're the ones probably hoping that it will go higher.
Who can afford to invest in it? That's the thing. There's the opportunity, but most people don't have the ability.
Yeah.
To
well, for somebody, that's what I'm trying to say. If you make if you make $200K a year, $71 a share is nothing. You know.
Right.
Yeah.
But to me, I make less than $20K a year. Fuck, dude, that's $71.
Yeah. So your opportunity to own part of that goes down significantly.
Right.
It's still stacked against you.
It is. Our country is built on the 1%, bro. There is no getting around it.
Yeah, that's where I just find side hustles and still do it, you know, because I still invest. You know, I try to do as much as I can, because like if you don't, you're fucked. You know, like, or you're gonna
I've got stocks, man. The only thing that's allowing me to continue doing this is the fact that I have stocks.
Yeah, I mean, so like it goes both ways, right? So like, how do you not be part of the system but have to be part of it? But we're going down a rabbit hole here, and I can talk about this for days.
Yeah,
so
and it's after 1. Maybe we should jump onto the top 10.
Let's
quick news of the week or something.
Actually, I gotta go get ready for my fucking.
And we still have a Patreon.
Yeah, I gotta be done in 18 minutes.
Okay, I got this really quick. Okay, first off, Ryan, you start off the fast Japanese news with Bandmade news. Go for it, Ryan, and then I'll plow through the rest.
All right. So Bandmade news. Bandmade is not a lot to add to it, but Tokyo Garden Theater, I think the show is January 9th. Hopefully, you entered the lottery, got your tickets. Congratulations. Bandmade online acoustic OQG is available again for the Omiyasu Sama fan club. The Catharsis video will be available for a limited time on YouTube. Bandmade is part of the Merry Rock Parade, December 17th and 18th. The parade is, and Bandmade is performing on the 18th at Port Messe Nagoya. That's about all I got for Bandmade right now.
Awesome. Okay. And then other news here. We got Crystal Lake is looking for vocalists. If you guys remember a while back, we reported on they had lost their vocalist and they're looking for a new vocalist. So they have on the website, it's called JMS Base, where they're documenting their whole research, they're documenting the whole experience of looking for vocalists. I watched part of it. It's really interesting, fascinating if you guys want to check that out. So they are looking for vocalists right now. Nemophila and a lot of other bands, Lonesome Blue, Agane, Fake Gear, D-Drive, Lil Lilith, Cross Vein, Jackal, and Mesgram Whiskey Dust were all mentioned in this guitar magazine, or Metallion magazine. So that was really cool to see. Got a picture of Nemophila on the front. So highlighting all these awesome bands. And then Hanabiye will be playing out of Japan for the first time at the Metal Fest, and they're replaying in Europe, and it's going to be August 19th and August 20th. So it'll be first time going out internationally. So look at, they're in small print down there, but they're there, Hanabiye. So congratulations to Hanabiye for doing that. Maximum Hormone news. They still don't have an album. Fuck them. They need an album. Anyways, Pale Dust manager. the cutoff for the manager is coming to a close for Pale Dust. You should manage this awesome band. They're amazing, and I really hope they get everything together. They've taken a huge hit, and I love their music so much, so I'm really excited for them to get everything straightened out, get members, get management, get fucking hitting hard. All right.
Get hitting hard. Wow,
hitting
look how
hard, yeah.
efficient we can be.
Yeah. Top 10. Here we go.
Wait. 3
Shut
days.
up, champ.
Nemophila, new
You're
album.
ruining it. No, I was kidding.
Oh, shit.
I'm kidding. Yes, you're right. I'm sorry. I should never
December
told you.
14th, Nemophila is dropping the Seize the Fate album.
Awesome.
11 tracks on it, I believe.
Awesome.
Thank you.
There's something else being
I
released.
totally missed that.
Hold on, I have it right here. Something else is being released, and I can't. Oh, Bish is coming out with their new song on the 12th.
Which is
Is
also
this their last song?
This is their last song. Are we live streaming this, Wave? We're gonna do that? Are we gonna?
What time of the day is it?
It's 4 a.m. for me, so 5 a.m. for you.
Oh God.
My answer is no.
Well, for you,
Let's
champ,
do it
it's
later in the
6.
day.
For you,
let's just watch the replay later.
okay, that's fine. Let me know when I'll be there for it. Wait,
Speaking of Bish, that is our Patreon poll winner this week.
Oh, sweet.
Let me tell us about the Patreon while I pull up this last Fast News article here.
I could do that.
10.
Patreon.com/ let's start that over. Patreon.com/guys and guys. I almost said my own. Yeah, you could go over there, over on the $10 tier. You can vote for what we're going to react to, and you get early access to those reactions. Over on the $5 tier, you get those reactions 2 weeks into the future, but you don't get to vote on the poll. So, go check it out, scope around, see what you like about it, or join the channel membership.
Did you just freeze? We just lost. Oh, dude.
Champ.x has stopped working.
There, he's back. He's back.
He's back.
Bro, we didn't hear the last
so confusing.
thing.
I was like, why isn't anybody answering?
You froze, dude.
You got members.
Okay, well, memberships where you can get pretty much the same stuff. So make your choice, guys, in the chat. Patreon or channel memberships, you got cool shit.
Memberships on Patreon, of course, we have giveaways. We're just going to go ahead and give away 2 things next week because I do not have the wheel ready. So we will do that next week. We're going to give away some Bandmade merch that Wave is willing to part with. And we also try to do as many giveaways as possible.
Do you also want me to mention the baby metal poll?
Yes.
Baby metal.
Go
brackets.
ahead and do that, and then we'll get into the top
so
10.
remember the Bandmade bracket challenge that we did a couple months ago? Well, now we're doing one for baby metal. So we've got 44 songs onto this list because we wanted to get like pretty much everything, which is, you can check it out on the screen right now. This is what the bracket is looking like. It looks absolutely ridiculous, but I'm going to explain to you why that is the case.
Please do.
In order to have like a matchup that evens out perfectly to a final 2, you have to have 32. We have 44. So everything that's showing on round 2 right now is getting an automatic bye to the second round. Everything that's on round 1, they have to actually compete to get into round 2. So basically you could see right here, Rondo of Nightmare, Road of Resistance, Karate, they're all already moving on to the second round.
Oh, damn.
The cool thing this time that's different than before, and we were going, and I thought of this because you mentioned that people are winning prizes and stuff. There is a prediction maker over here. So you can actually create a prediction, as you can see on the screen right now, fill out your brackets, just like, if you were doing like a Sweet 16 bracket or a March Madness bracket or something like that. And you could send them in, and whoever gets the closest right to everything will win a prize from us.
That is so cool, man. Yeah, so go check that out. Go to our Discord. We fixed it. You won't be bombarded with notifications anymore. I completely removed the dichotic. Dichotic was the main issue, so I do apologize. I took that completely out of server because Dichotic's a separate server anyways. And plus Ryan and I have separate servers, so if you're wondering why our corners were taken away, but since Champ and Wave don't have a server, we're just kept those there so we could declutter it and stop from millions of notifications, took out all the pinging and stuff. So if you guys do go to Discord, it'll be a lot smoother, and you can check out all the polls and everything over there. And you can also see tabs for all of your favorite Japanese bands that automatically get updated with the tweets and stuff that they put out. If you guys would like us to connect our Instagrams, we can too. Just want to ask you guys, see if you guys would like that change. Go ahead and just let us know on that server. But we're making it more like dedicated Guys and Guys podcast, and you'll find all the voting there for this.
Cool.
Yep.
All right. Top 10. Was there anything else? 10. That was it? All right.
That's it.
Nope.
All right, top 10. We got a new 10th spot, and I can't find it for some reason. Okay, here it is. Baby Metal Monochrome is now in the top 10. Woo!
All right.
Okay. Yeah, I thought that was awesome. Number 9, Baby Metal Divine Attack is number 9. 1OK Rock is in 8th spot. It went up a spot. We have Otto going down 2 spots. What? Backlight is falling. It's falling down. Until she releases a new single next week. But Otto going up 1 spot with Freedom.
Defeated
Otto
by herself.
Going up 1 spot with Missing. Otto, number 4, staying with Rebellion. Vondi, number 3, Chainsaw Blood. That's a great song too. And number 2, Sutomayo going up a spot. All right. And Otto, Top Musica. God damn, how long is it staying in the top?
Song of the Song of the year.
Of the year, for sure. We changed the name, so now it's called the Humbuggeries. Most
Trademarks too.
Most Bodacious Rise, Lonesome Blue, Face the Fear, one of the best songs of the year. I don't care what Ryan says. Anyways, no, I'm kidding. Most Heinous Drop, 1OK Rock, Save Yourself, dropped 22 spots. Most Excellent New Entry at number 50 with Shingeki, Ego Paradise. Most Bogus Entry, Lumerize, Shooter. I think I just checked out a Lumerize song, and I don't know if I liked it or not. Can't remember.
Bogus.
Biggest comeback since Lazarus. Going up 3 spots with Jaluka. Black. Oh, I remember that song. I did listen to that one. All right. But that's your top 10, guys. We'll do the giveaway next week. We'll give away 2 prizes in a row. And we have, I forgot about the top 10 covers. We're going to go through that real quick. Asterism, it falls down a spot at number 10. Lisa X, number 9, going up a spot. Wagaki Band going down 2 with Phony. Number 7, Asterism going a spot with Polaris. Number 6, we got Wagaki Band with Marshall Maximizer going up a spot. I think it dropped last week. Wagaki Band again with Eagle Rock. Going down a spot is Otto with Crime and Punishment. And by the way, guys, if you want to submit other covers or other videos for these top 10 charts, you go to our Discord, and on the top 10 segment, you can submit any Japanese song, and then when it comes to cover, it just has to be a cover of a Japanese song. So if you want to put Waves cover of one of the songs he's done, go for it.
I
we
can
will
get
submit
number
it.
586 on the chart.
Yeah. And then
basically, if you want to be part of this community as much as possible, just go to the Discord, because that's where we do everything.
This is a majority generated by you guys and all the input that you put in. So we appreciate it, guys. And number 3, we got Asterism with Pellic, and that went up a spot. That's a really cool song. Mr. Sheriffride. Otto. Okay, I fucking butchered that. Yeah. And then Otto number 1. So thank you for tuning in for the top 10 charts featuring Otto.
I got a fun fact on Lisa X Band real quick, or Koi as they're known. Someone said in the chat earlier, but both of those words, Koi and I, mean love, right?
Oh, Koi.
So that was a fun fact since they're on that top 10.
Nice. And that's it, guys.
Cool.
That's the news. We're gonna go ahead and hurry up and do a reaction. So we'll talk to y'all later. This went on a lot longer, lots of stuff to talk about. So we appreciate you guys sticking out with this extra long podcast. Make sure you hit the notification for Old Mr. B interview that's coming up on the 17th. So we'll see you guys for that. That is next week. Oh yeah, an interview with Ryan Meir.
Ryan on Old Mr. B.
Yeah.
Talk about guitars and stuff.
Nice.
We like stuff like that.
Yeah. Guitars are good. They can be good. All right, guys. See you later.
All right, let's do this.
I'm trying to figure out how to end everybody. I was stalling so I can figure out how to end this.
You press the end stream button.
Well, the problem is that disappeared.
Alan, you've only done this like 6,000 times.
It disappeared, guys. I'm sorry. All right, here we go. And see you guys later. See you.
Bye.